Ayesha Curry, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to meet you. How are you doing today?
I'm hanging in there right now. I'm really nervous to be here.
Wait, why?
I'm so excited.
Oh my God, Ayesha.
Yeah, so I'm just grateful. I'm excited. Hoping I don't get in trouble for the things that I say.
I feel like we're going to have good girl talk.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put,
so
you're not in the hot seat. Like you.
Yeah, I know.
Is it good that I'm catching you in the off season or?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's great.
So you're more chill during the off season.
Super chill. Yeah. I mean, it's still chaotic. It's always chaotic, but we're like learning to live in that.
What do you guys usually do during this time of year? Are you traveling? Are you staying at home?
Well, right now, because it's July, it's always the most chaotic of the year, actually, of the whole calendar year, because 3 of our kids' birthdays are in July. Our anniversary is at the end of July. And it's like, if you play well, like for my husband, if you play well, you play until June.
And he usually plays well.
He usually plays well. This year we had a little bit more time, which was nice, but usually it's just 2 months and that's it.
Okay, 4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. So it's like, it's one of those things like you don't know what you actually don't know what you want.
Well, it's so interesting you say that because I want to talk a lot about that today because I relate to you in that way. Like, I really, really never thought I was going to get married. I'm like, there is actually no way that's ever going to happen. And then it happens and you're like, maybe I didn't know myself that well. And it's like, no, you knew yourself when you were young. Yes. And then life happens and then you grow up and then you have different wants and needs and that's okay to change your mind.
Yes.
But it's still shocking.
It's still shocking.
Okay, wait. Quickly back to parenting. I'm going to ask you a couple random like parenting manual questions. Okay. What is a time one of your kids embarrassed you in public?
My daughter, Ryan. We were in a very public place. I'm trying to remember where. I'm blanking because I think this just like overshadowed the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But she yelled out like, "Mommy, do you have weaves? Is that a weaves?" Like with an S. "Do you have weaves in your hair?" And I'm like, yes.
I know, Ryan. You're like, "Ryan, thank you so much. Mommy loves you." Kids will humble you every fucking day.
Fast.
Okay, what's a bribe you used recently to get your kids to do something?
Oh, I paid my daughter, my 13-year-old Riley, and my niece Ava. I paid them $20 to clean up the kitchen and the living room. Back in my day, I wouldn't have had that opportunity. I would have just had to do it.
Okay, what is the weirdest thing you found in your kid's backpack or pocket?
So I found my nipple covers in my son's pocket. He must have found them in my purse or out the counter. And he's like, you can always tell like when he's like, and then he walked in and he goes, "Mommy, do you know what's under here?" And I had forgotten that fast that he had put them in his pocket. He's like, "Do you know what's under here?" And I'm like, "No." "Cannon, what are you doing?" And he goes, I said, "Take them off." And he's just like smiling ear to ear. He thinks it's hysterical. Oh my God.
That is actually though hysterical.
Definitely
You're
have
like,
to leave the room.
Like, this is not happening.
You don't want to laugh too hard because then they'll just keep doing it. He was like,
Steph is like, "I am leaving." You're like mortified.
It's so bad.
Oh, so you graduated high school early to move to LA to start your acting career.
Yeah.
Tell me about like coming out to LA. What early ambitions did you have for yourself and like what did you want?
It's interesting because I don't ever, I think, get the opportunity to kind of talk about my life before my life now. And so yeah, I graduated high school a year early. At the time, I was living in North Carolina. And I'd been in the industry since I was 3 years old. I was always working. Commercial, print, like doing TV stuff, always. So other kids were at like soccer, doing the extracurriculars, and I was on a set working. And so it was second nature for me. And quite honestly, growing up, the only thing that I thought I could do. And so I would enter all of these competitions. I entered this one in North Carolina, and they were like, hey, move to LA. And I grew up, I think it's really important to preface, I grew up in like the most strict environment. Like, didn't get to go to high school football games. Didn't get to really hang out with my friends. Damn sure couldn't like walk around the mall by myself. But when these people were like, hey, you want to move to LA? They were like, yeah, go.
Your parents were like, have fun, honey. You're like,
go. Like, you're going to do it. And I appreciate it because that means they believed in me so much. But at the same time, our entire family was like, this is crazy. Like, you can't even carpool.
Okay, wait. You starting at 3, was it because like your mom just saw something in you? Like,
the story is, because obviously I have no recollection. We were in a grocery store and a talent agent said, oh, she should be in commercials. And so it started from there and then kept going. And
when you started working that young and then kind of became aware of it, like, did you love it? Like,
I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it. Eat, sleep, breathe.
Okay, so you come from the strict family. Then you get on a plane after graduating high school early. So you're what, 17?
Yeah, I was 17. My dad set me up for like a month. I got an apartment, ridiculously expensive. So I was shocked. Had to pick up 3 jobs. I worked at a frozen yogurt shop. I worked at Abercrombie and Fitch and a farmer's market on the weekends to like just to be able to make that happen.
Yep. And I feel like when you have the dream of LA and acting or modeling or getting into this industry, like naturally rejection comes with that.
Oh, God.
When you came out to LA, what was your self-confidence like before you started like really getting maybe some no's?
I think because I came from the small town, I was like, oh, I got this. And then I got out here. And I remember the first couple of like cattle call auditions being like, every single person in here looks exactly like me. Like, these are like, we're carbon copies of each other. Like, what's going to set you apart? And so I think early on, I was like, wow, I've got to diversify my portfolio a little bit.
Right, because in North Carolina, you're like, there's like 3 of us in theater that are crushing. And then you get out to LA and they're like, bitch, this is your first audition. Like, this is my 900th. Like, yes, get in the back of the line. You're like, Dad.
And I'm walking in and I'm like, hello. And they're all like, why is this girl talking to us?
Okay, but like, Ayesha, you have like a huge flex. I found out that you were on an episode of Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
Girl. That was my favorite show growing up.
Days.
So, you know what? I would put that, if I was you, I would put that on my resume. I would put that as my Instagram.
It should be the Instagram bio.
I was on Hannah Montana, you fuckers.
Actually, I have a good story. About that. Hopefully you find this funny too.
Okay. I'm dead.
The one little episode. I was so excited. I remember calling Stephen like, I got it. He was so excited for me. I remember going to set and there was this lovely girl who was like in some of the scenes with me, and Billy Ray walks up and he's like, we're like, oh, hello, sir. Like, so nice to meet you. And he's like, you guys, it was actually so sweet. Okay. He was like, you guys can really do this. You can really do this. And we're just looking at him like, do what? And he's like, Miley puts her pants on the same way you do every day. But it stuck with me.
It's kind of true. You're like, I could be Hannah Montana.
Like, he's right.
You're literally like, what are you talking about, sir? And then you're like, oh, you're talking big picture here. I got it.
Big picture.
This is like a little metaphor. I see where you're going with this, Billy Ray. So during that time, you and Steph were already dating with the Hannah Montana.
We were dating,
okay,
yeah.
Let's go back. Let's talk about how you met Mr. Steph Curry. You met him in high school?
Yeah. So I'm Canadian.
Okay.
So I grew up in Markham, Ontario, and I moved to the States at 14 to North Carolina. And that's actually where we met. He's one of the first people that I met in the States, but we just friends. Obviously, we were 14.
Right.
Went to the same church, shared the same friend groups at church. And then when I moved to LA, he Facebooked me.
Did he write on your wall, or it was like a private message?
No, it was a private message. But he was like, hey, do you still live in LA? That's a lie. The first message was, I was in this music video, and he was like, hey, who is that in the music video, in the picture that you're in? And I'm like, oh, it's Young Berg. And he goes, oh, I should have known. He always has all the sexy ladies. And I was like, what is happening now?
You're like, Steph, I knew you said you're 14. I was 14. What are you trying to do now?
At this time now, we're 19.
Okay.
18, 19. And so he goes, do you still live in LA? I'm here for a camp. Do you want to hang out? And I'm like freaking out because this guy, he was like the guy at church. Like all the girls loved him.
I thought you were going to say like in high school, like on the court. You're like, at church, he was the guy.
At church.
Was he the basketball guy in high school or no?
Apparently he was, but I genuinely didn't pay attention to that because I grew up in such an arts-driven family that sports outside of like Doug Flutie playing for the Buffalo Bills like it just wasn't a thing in my house. And so he said, so we made plans to hang out, and then I said, where are you staying? And he said, Anaheim. And I was like,
you're like, so you're coming to me because I'm not.
At this point, I still have the other jobs, like trying to pay the rent. Gas is expensive. So I was like, I'm sorry, I can't this time. But if you're ever back, let me know and we'll go hang out. And he's like, oh, I'm back in 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh my God.
You still in Anaheim?
And so, no, this time he was in Hollywood. So he stuck with it. He hit me up 2 weeks later. We hung out and we've literally been together since that day.
Okay, hold on. You go and you hang out with him. What is your headspace? Are you seeing him in like a could this be something kind of way? Or are you like, no?
No, I was, and this was like my first real date. So I was just nervous. I was nervous. It was like years of having a crush. And then years, like I just never thought that he would like someone like me. I just didn't think it was going to be a thing. I thought we would be friends. Yeah.
Did you ever have anything in high school at all, or it was legit just friends?
No, just friends. Just friends. Yeah.
I get what you're saying of like you never saw him as something, but I'm like, when you look back, is there any memory that you're like, maybe there was something or no?
No, never. I had a friend over who had a crush on his brother at the time, and she decided to call him, and they were giggling, and then we're maybe like 15 at this time, and they put Stefan on the phone, and somebody said something about Canada. And so I was like, oh, I'm Canadian. And he's like, oh, do you like Canadian candy? And I'm like, I love Canadian candy. And so my aunt was coming into town from Canada, and so she brought some for me. And so I was like, oh, I'll bring you a bag to church the next time we're at church.
See, it was meant to be. It was meant to be.
I bring the bag, and I literally, everybody's watching. I hand it to him, and I don't say anything to him. I just shove it and walk away. Like, that's how shy
Ayesha
I was.
And did you like him at all? Like in your heart, you're like, oh, I wish I could. Yeah, it just wasn't. It was high school.
I thought he was so cute. Oh
okay, so fast forward. You go on this first date.
Yeah.
What are the vibes?
It was one of the best days of my life. Honestly, it was so innocent and young, and like I wish I could relive that, or at least watch it from like a bird's eye view. It was so cute. We did Hollywood Boulevard, put our hands in the Maryland hands, and like got chai lattes. We went over to the Grove and like walked around, and they were filming some Eddie Murphy movie that we like. I don't think it ever ended up coming out. And just had checking cop cars to see if they had donuts. Like just like real young love. I don't know. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I feel like when
It
you have
wasn't.
one of those first dates, though, like I feel that way about my husband. I always say that to him. I'm like, oh my God, what I would give to relive that night. Or at least I say the same thing, just watch it. Like I wish I could just,
Yeah.
because it's so romantic and cute to know then what comes from that story.
Yeah.
So that's really cute because it is so innocent. You had
Yeah.
no idea what it was going to lead to.
And nobody could predict like what the future
No.
holds.
Did
It's
you
just-
guys kiss first date?
No.
Did he try?
No, he tried. So shortly after that, I got a really bad bout of laryngitis.
Stop. This is so random.
And my throat was so swollen. It was like, and I panicked and I was like, Mom, Dad, I want to come home. And so I went home and he was like, I'm home. And so
You're laid up with laryngitis.
I got a little bit better and then we like continued dating from there, obviously. And like, I want to say it was maybe like the fourth date. He came like, I was mid-sentence and he like came flying at my face and I turned to the side. I'm still nervous at this point. Like it's like butterflies. And he's like, oh. And I just look at him and I'm like, I didn't know that's what we were doing. Like I didn't know you liked me like that. And
Ayesha.
he was like, yeah, I've just been coming over to your house for the past 2 weeks to play video games with your brothers. I was like,
You're like, oh.
try again.
Wait,
Do it
one more time. Wait, and so did he try again?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so you did. Okay, cute. I'm like,
Yeah.
this poor man gets rejected.
No, it was fine. It was like a split second.
But it's cute too, because like in that moment, you're still the girl with the candy, like handing it to him and running away. And meanwhile, he's like, I like you. Can you sit there and like accept it for a second?
Yeah.
That's really, really cute. Okay, so when you're living in LA,
Mhm.
you guys reconnect. He didn't live in LA at the time, right?
No.
So this is like a light long distance situation.
It's a light long distance. Yeah. He still had a year of college left. So it was pretty long distance.
When you were in that beginning stage, did you have interest in a long distance? Like, how did you think this
No.
was even going to work?
Ironically, I don't even think I was thinking of how it could work. We were just going through the motions, really. And it seemed like the people around us too, like our families, were into it. And so they were like a really good support system through it. I don't know. It sucked now that I'm thinking about it. I remember I drove back to LA after he started his junior year of college and the season had started for him, but I had to go back for something. I don't remember what it was for. And at the time you could get like his college games on the radio. And so and it was a big game. And so I'm like listening, sobbing, like I'm not there to support.
You're literally driving home like the classic girl
Yeah.
looking out the window, like
Yeah.
so sad. You're like, fuck my life.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But then it obviously ended up working out. Tell me about the moment that he gets drafted to the Golden State Warriors. Because now he's coming full-time West Coast near you.
Yeah. So he had like a big decision to make because he had a year left. He had a senior year left. So it was like, do I stay? Do I go? And like, I think what a lot of people don't know is he really thought about it. Like it was like a torment for him. He called me like crying behind a tree. Like, I don't know what to do. And I'll stand like 10 toes down on this. Like, it's not a secret. I was like, stay in school. I was like,
Wait, and why? Because then he was going to be far away from you still,
why?
right?
So the why is I didn't grow up surrounded by people who went to college. That for me was like, wow, what a blessing. Like you get to go to college. You get to have an education. Like, why would you leave? So, and then not coming from that sports background and understanding how like rare the opportunity he had was, I was like, yeah, stay in school.
You're like, college is so much cooler than the NBA. He's
But
like,
I'm glad
wait.
that was really the sentiment.
Kind of love that for you.
But I'm glad he decided to leave, and then he ended up finishing anyway and has gone on to do tremendous, incredible, cool shit that we never thought would happen. So it's great.
So he comes to the West Coast, and at this point, when he gets drafted, like are you guys like official
Oh, yeah.
boyfriend, girlfriend?
Oh, yeah.
Who said I love you first?
Me.
What? Tell me everything.
I 100% said I love you first. I was visiting him at school and getting ready to leave to go back to my mom's house. And I said it. And he didn't say it back. And he just stared at me. And my eyes started to well up. And he was like, "Can I please explain?" And I'm like, "Okay." And he's
Oh my God, that okay. I immediately now know what you're like in those moments in relationships. You literally go stone cold, just like, okay. Let me know.
He's like, I said, he's like, I said I love you to somebody in the past and I didn't mean it. He's like, and I regret it. And he's like, I just want to be sure that when I say it again, you know that I mean it. And in the moment, I was like, bullshit. But now, obviously, I realized he was serious. And a month later, we're sitting watching 7 Pounds. And when they say, like, the human heart, 7 pounds, he literally, my whole family's in the room, by the way, sitting watching this movie. He leans over in my ear and he's like, I love you. And I'm like, happy, but I'm also like, what? Like,
what are you doing?
Sitting next to my uncle. What are we doing?
No,
what's happening?
Not Steph in that moment thinking like this is gonna be so romantic, and you're literally like,
I mean, if he's gonna do one thing, he's gonna make it memorable.
So then did you just not talk the rest of the fucking movie?
I had to get up and take a lap. Yeah.
Did he follow you?
No. And then after the movie was over, we like went in my uncle's elevator and we're like making out in there.
Good.
It was great.
That's what needed to happen. Picturing him whispering that to you and you just like stone cold being like, you're like, Uncle Jerry, just close your ears. What?
I do have an Uncle Jerry. It wasn't Uncle Jerry.
It was. Which uncle was it?
My Uncle Carl.
Uncle Carl.
Yes.
Jerry and Carl. Good names for uncles, right? Okay.
Classic.
You end up moving to the Bay Area with
Yes.
Steph. Talk to me about, for you, what went into that decision.
It was exciting. I think initially when they called his name, we were like kicking each other under the table because nobody really knew where that was. But then the next morning we got on the plane to fly out to the Bay and have never looked back. And the vibes in the Bay
Amazing.
are high. Yes.
Oh.
It's so good. Everybody's so creative. The culture is like rich.
Pausing on you guys as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about you as an individual though,
Mm-hmm.
because you had this dream.
Mm-hmm.
And did you feel like in moving with him, did you feel like you had to pick between your career and your relationship at that point?
Yes. To an extent. That was never presented in front of me that way. It just kind of had to be that way. And because after we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughters so quickly, I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
Okay, rewind 2 steps.
Yeah.
Married at 22.
Yeah.
How did you know you were ready for that?
I didn't. I just knew that I loved him and I'd never like experienced anything else. I'd never felt any differently than like, this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. And so we kind of just dove in. And
did anyone or you or Steph or anyone have any hesitations about like, oh, we're getting married in our early 20s or no?
No. And I say this all the time to our family. I'm like, you guys, like 22. I'm like, you guys. I'm like, not a single parent. Nobody was like, hey guys, are you sure? Everybody was like, no, this is what's happening, and we love you, and it's gonna be great. It's just like, wow. Like when I really look at it.
Well, and again, because there are so many people that may watch this that are like, oh, 22 for them, whether it's because like they watched their parents get married young or whatever, it was normal. But you, in the beginning of this interview, started by being like, girl, I didn't even think I wanted to get married.
Yes, exactly.
So it is a big deal that at 22,
it's a mixture of that and a mixture of like, there are levels to 22. Like there's different styles of 22-year-olds. But I was like the naive, like very young, unpolished 22-year-old. Like I didn't have very much life experience. And so it's just interesting.
It is, but it's, again, I think like why I was excited to talk to you is because as women, there's just like so many things that happen in our life that we want to plan for.
Yeah.
And then obviously life just doesn't go as planned. Yeah. And to hear you at a young age getting married, I think like, and knowing it was such a success, but it doesn't mean the whole ride was easy. Like that's what I'm excited to get into.
Yeah.
So like a few months after getting married, you just said
you get 3 months.
Okay. What was going through your head when you found out that news?
I was confused because
How are you confused?
Because
Alex.
My OB said expected to take up to a year. And so I'm like, oh, if in my head I heard at least a year. I was thinking we were going to be like bar hopping. It's like, nope, you're pregnant and you're going to be very, very sick. But I'm so grateful. I wouldn't change a thing.
Of course.
But it was not on my bingo card.
And when all this went down, like, I guess now looking back, what advice would you give to someone listening of like how to embrace when your timeline suddenly changes?
Oh, there's no such thing as a timeline, I think, is the bottom line. Things are going to shift. Like life is ebbs and flows, and you just kind of have to roll with the punches. Sometimes stuff's going to suck, but you can always recover. And I think it's important also, like sometimes you can feel like you're in your own bubble or like feel isolated or like you're the only person experiencing that thing, but there's always like a resource or there's always a community of people who are experiencing similar things.
Did you have like any friends who were in similar life stages to you at that point?
No.
They're like, babe, we're at One Oak.
No.
What are you doing?
No, actually all of our friends are like just now having babies, like the past 4 or 5 years. So we were the trailblazers.
What was the hardest part of being a young mom?
I think my identity. So because I have such an entrepreneurial spirit, not being able to call the shots all the time for myself was freaking weird. And then learning how to kind of reset myself to make it all work while still having a family was weird too. But it's made me really resilient and like a little gritty. So I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, like even thinking about how you said earlier, like once my daughter turned about 1, I was kind of looking around like, I love being a mom.
Yeah.
But I also have this other side of me that I can feel kind of wanting to come back up. And I think a lot of times women can experience like, or so I've read, because I'm obviously not a mother yet, hopefully. But like women can experience this like mom guilt of like, if I have a career and I'm not home at like did you experience that?
I still experience that. I still experience that. I'm always in therapy talking about this. But what I realized is like if you lose, like for me being married and like with my husband, if you lose all of those things that were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what are you doing? And so for me, it's always been important. I mean, I'm a little ADHD. So like I have 1,000,005 ideas. I have a million interests. I'm very creative. I like to explore those sides of me, and I think it keeps me who I am to like my family and the people that I love, but it also allows me to have a certain level of confidence that I don't think I would have otherwise.
Right. It's like you grew up, like we've talked about, like having this thing that you were so passionate about. Yeah. And to lose that creative side of yourself would just mean that you're almost like doing a disservice to yourself and then therefore to your kids and to your husband and to your relationships. Like that's who you are.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be, as women, we're always told, like, or at least it feels like people just try to have us be one-dimensional, and you can do more. Not that it's easy.
No.
But it's an option.
It's an option. Like I say all the time, I'm like, when men do it, they're like, oh my God, you're so multifaceted. Wow.
You're so talented.
What a Renaissance man. And I'm like, why can't women do the same thing? Like what is giving you the ick so bad that you feel like I can't do these separate things, be good at them, or at least try to? Like what is the problem?
It is really frustrating. And then I think, thankfully, I feel like there's just been an uptick of people being like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm just going to do it. Even if it pisses all of you off so much and it makes you uncomfortable to see a woman succeeding, deal with that on your own side, because I'm going to keep fucking pushing. There are a lot of people in sports that don't obviously have to go through as much of the conversation around like fame and spotlight as you and your husband have had to. How did being in the spotlight impact your relationship in the early days? Because you guys didn't know how to handle it.
It's a double-edged sword, because parts of it have afforded me doors to be open. I obviously have to walk through them and then put in the work to stay in the room. But that, I think, would be the elephant in the room, is like, I'm grateful for that side of things. But on the flip side, I in the beginning hated it so much. I like did not sign up for that. I also always thought, like, I didn't know that he was going to end up playing basketball. Like he said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. Like I thought I was gonna be like the girl out there getting it. So I didn't know. And so it just like, it was weird. And sports fans are so different than like maybe entertainment world fans. And oftentimes it's like very ruthless. And so I think I wasn't expecting that either. I remember like one time right after my first was born, she was whiny, so I was like, let me just nurse her in the back seat. And Stefan was putting a bike or something in the trunk. And this woman like opens the car door and she sticks her head in and she's like, I just wanted to see the baby. And I'm like, excuse me. And she looks me dead in my face and goes, oh, honey, you know what you signed up for. And then like shuts the door on me. And I was just crying because I was like postpartum. I was just bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, what? Like, is this what it's going to be like?
Wow.
And so the beginning phases were kind of scary for me.
And as a woman, like, did you ever experience any type of like direct scrutiny over just like you or what you looked like or how you were acting?
Oh, all the time. I feel like I still do. And that's okay. But
how did that impact you, though, early on when you were like, I'm still not equipped to handle this? Because now you're like seasoned. Yes, it affects you, but you now have the tools of like, I've been here before. I know exactly how to handle this moment.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it doesn't still hurt.
It was so depressing. And also, it was during that time when this like social media thing was just ramping up. And so people were going buck wild and just spewing opinions on things that didn't warrant opinions. And so I think for a while, I was very critical of myself because of the things that I was seeing.
It's so hard also to be the woman in a situation where you're like, men just don't get as much scrutiny. Like they can maybe tell him like, your fucking shots suck tonight, but like the looks and all of that is just like not a factor of conversation as much.
No.
Did you talk to Steph about it? Like, or did you kind of keep it within yourself so it didn't?
I do not have a bone in my body that can keep anything to myself. So if it comes to mind, it's coming out. And he's so gracious. Like, he tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real.
I mean, that's so men where you're like, no, wait, but I want to talk about it for 4 more hours.
Yeah.
Can you just sit down? And they're like, do you want me to solve it for you?
Yeah.
It's not real. We both know it's not real, blah, blah.
He's like,
no.
Go to bed.
Go to sleep. You're like in the bathroom brushing your teeth. You're like, another thing. You like pop out. He's like, what?
Quite literally.
Can you share like something that was said about you in the early days to just like paint the picture?
Gosh,
no one knows.
Me on the spot. Okay, this one's kind of funny.
Okay. Okay. Now it's funny.
This one's kind of funny because at a certain point, like, I do have a round face.
Oh my God.
So like at a certain point, this was true because I was a little weightier. But there was this thing going around that said there's 2 things. It was like that I look like SpongeBob's mom. Just look it up after.
Okay.
I felt that way. So then seeing it, I was like, damn.
Ayesha.
Damn.
No.
What else? I think because he's like known for shooting threes, people will say something all the time like, oh, he shoots threes on and off the court. And I'm like, come on.
Well, first of all, 3 plus like a million. Like, you were like so fucking stunning and gorgeous.
Thank you.
Like,
sweet.
I don't need to say that to you, but I have to say it because it's also like the people that are writing it are probably threes, but not you. But also I feel like it's funny to see any athlete's wife, everyone just first goes for their looks and they compare it. It's
strange.
Crazy.
It's so
crazy.
strange.
That online conversation is so tired. Like, immediately just judging a wife of like a man that is well-known and famous. Doesn't even have to be sports. It can be entertainment, actors, whatever it be. It's always at the looks. And it's like, aren't we tired?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I've also gotten the like, and I've gotten this in person a lot, is the like the stigma of being a wife of somebody that plays professional sports or a girlfriend, whatever. Oh, how does it feel to be said person's wife and also work? And I'm like, what? So I think there's a stigma out there that people don't do. These women aren't doing anything. That's not true. There's so many women doing incredible things. A lot just like they do it under the radar, which is great.
Right.
Like,
no, it's so misogynistic. It's like
so crazy.
Well, your husband makes so much fucking money. Like, why would you ever want to work? And it's like, God forbid I also have individual interests and needs and wants and goals in my fucking life.
Crazy.
It's all projection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait. I want to play a game then between you and Steph of who is more likely to. Okay. Who is more likely to take a work call during date night?
Stefan.
Do you guys have boundaries of like, no, we're done with work, food?
I do. Where's the game?
You're like, do not disturb, motherfucker. Okay, who is more likely to call a family meeting?
Me.
What was the topic of the most recent like Curry family meeting?
These days, and I'm sorry, you guys. Is this the camera I look at?
Yep.
I'm sorry, you guys. It's just true. These days, it's calling meetings about our parents to discuss our parents.
When you become an adult and then you realize like, oh, my parents, how did I get through an airport when I was younger? Like, how did you get me through to Terminal B? Like, you start to look at your parents like, I love you more than life, but like, hello?
What is going on?
Who is more likely to splurge on a big purchase?
Me. That is not even a conversation.
Good for you.
He's going to be so proud of me for being honest, too.
He's going to be watching this like, yes, babe. Thank you for taking accountability. What is like one of your splurges that you're like, I'm really actually proud of that one?
Actually, my ring. So I reset my ring.
I've been staring at it. So that's a good answer.
But I feel like I'll have it forever.
Let's talk about your business now, because
Yes.
I really wanted to get to individually driven at a young age. You meet Steph, you have this like, oh my gosh, we didn't anticipate we were going to fall in love and then have babies and all the things. And then one day you woke up pretty quickly into having a kid, being like, wait, I got to get myself back on track.
Yeah.
Steph has his career. I want my career to get back on track.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part early days of like really trying to start your business?
I think early days it was just starting. So I basically started. So I figured I wasn't gonna transition back into acting yet. I was gonna try to figure out something for myself where I could kind of stay in one place. I've loved food my entire life. Like I've cooked for my family since I was 11 years old. And people would often ask me for recipes and things like that. And so because we were the only people at the time in our family on the West Coast, everybody was on the East Coast, I was like, oh, I'll start like for the family. Like I'm just going to launch a blog. Blogs were the thing at the time. And Stefan's actually the one that encouraged it because I would start and stop. And he was like, just do it. So I did it. Other people took notice. And then someone said, hey, people like to see these things, like make a video. And so I started making videos. And from there, it grew. And I went to San Francisco cooking school for a little bit. And then the station that broadcasts the Warriors games at the time, they reached out and they were like, hey, we really like your videos. Like, what if we gave you a 30-minute slot before every game locally and we did a cooking segment? And I was like, yeah. And so that was like my first TV cooking direct to camera. And then from there it grew to the book, and then the book to Food Network. And so it was like I had this robust like food television career very quickly, that happened pretty organically, and I've like enjoyed every minute of it.
What has been, do you think, the hardest situation that you've had to navigate as a female business owner? Why are you laughing?
Sorry, because I don't know if I can say this, but I'll just say it anyway. The hardest, there's two. The first was hearing the no's as a woman in food. So I didn't realize how many barriers at the time. Now it's very different. I was either too young or too young of a woman, or there was nobody that looked like me. So instead of being like, you don't have a demographic here, let's create one, it was like, no, you don't have a demographic here. And so I think that was shocking to me, getting people to take me seriously, because at the time I think I was now 24 or 25. And so getting people to see me and realize that I had talent outside of what people were assuming, I think has been really difficult.
I think also what you were kind of alluding to when you were saying that, people were looking to see if you actually had talent outside of maybe what people were expecting you to be known for. And kind of what we were talking about with the money thing earlier, it's like, yes, I think there's a lot of people that would be like, you're Steph Curry's wife. Like, go sit in the stands and like, he makes so much money, just be happy. Yeah. And so there's the one, why are you working question? And then there's the two now that you're bringing up of like, people maybe assuming, oh, is she getting what she's getting just because she is this guy's wife? How does that make you feel when you hear those comments?
It feels crazy. And actually what you just said, like I recall like sitting there, you said in the stands, a reporter actually literally said on live television, she needs to sit there and look pretty like other people. I think people just don't realize that there is a life outside of where we are now in our adulthood. I think people can't see past like the surface one sheet.
Yep. Or you know what? They don't want to.
They don't want to.
Which sucks.
It sucks so bad. But I'm going to keep trying.
Yeah. we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
Even if you guys don't like it.
Yeah.
Women are just going to keep on coming. And they're going to be like, oh my God, here they come again. Throughout your career.
I'm sorry. That sounds crazy.
Well, we may also come again. Hopefully, if you can make us. If not, we'll do it ourselves. Okay, here we go.
God.
Talking about, you know, these industries that you were trying to break into, having people look at you being like, we haven't seen someone like you do it before, or also you being too young, all these things. A lot of these industries that you were trying to break into were heavily male dominated.
Very male dominated.
Also probably controlled by white men. Like, how did you get the confidence in moments to advocate for yourself?
I didn't at the time. I didn't have that. I kind of was just going where I was told. But it took for somebody to advocate for me. So it took somebody at the network who was a woman who just so happened to have their first child to be like, no, she's not too young, and I see it, and we're going to do it. And I'm like forever grateful. But I think now in my 30s, I've gotten pretty good at advocating for myself, or like just living in that vulnerability of what that means. So like, even if it's not well received, at least I'm satisfied and I know that I've spoken up for myself, because I have in the past tended to be very timid and shy and reserved for the most part. Yeah. So
you saying that a woman kind of like paid it forward to you and was like, no, let's give this girl a chance, that makes me so hopeful, because I feel like even you saying that, the fact that she was probably the only woman in the room, and then she saw something in you, I think it's a great message to, there's so many women that will be listening to this, and it's like, I know sometimes it can feel like, as the only woman, just be like grateful that you are at least a woman in the room.
Yeah.
But like, to lift other women up with you is how we're going to stop feeling so isolated and alone in those rooms with men. So like, what a beautiful moment for you. Now you being kind of maybe more in the position of power.
Yeah.
How have you been able to uplift and kind of advocate for more women in your industry?
So through all of this, through my culinary background and hospitality and all of that, we've really like realized the power of storytelling. And so we had Sweet July magazine for a while. We have Sweet July Productions and Sweet July Books now. And so the way that I feel like I pay it forward is by finding badass women in all of those spaces and giving them the platform to tell their stories. It's so much more rewarding. Like, it's like what you're doing. It's so much more rewarding than trying to go around for yourself. You know, it's when you lock arms with strong, creative, outspoken women, it's so much more powerful than doing it alone.
You know, it like changes everything. Like, you're like, oh my God. And we all usually start alone.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that's so exciting and eye-opening when you start to work with more women who are like-minded, and you're like, oh my God, why was it this hard to get to this place where I finally get to work with women? Because a lot of times it takes you being in a position of privilege to then create that environment around you in a work setting. And it's incredible that you are doing that. Your foundation that you have with Steph, Eat, Learn, Play. Can you talk about like what is the most rewarding part of being able to do that together?
I think the single most important thing we'll do in our careers for sure is Eat, Learn, Play. So basically we provide access to quality nutrition, quality education, and safe places to play for kids in the Oakland Unified School District. The statistics are devastating when you look at how kids are learning within the school system. But then when you pan out and you look from a bird's eye view at why that is, and you realize it's those three simple things, like, it's heartbreaking. And no child should have to be without that. And so we partnered with the school district and founded Eat, Learn, Play like right before the pandemic started. And and have been able to make some pretty impactful change so far. There's literally so much more to do. But I think it's so important to us because we're going to start to see a shift for the future generations. And if we lay the foundation now, it'll be smooth sailing down the road. And like a lot of people ask us why we're so siphoned into just Oakland. And it's because you got to crawl before you walk. And if we can solve the problems there and create a really robust, foolproof model for other communities to take it and run with it, we don't have to be attached to it. That's not why we're doing it. And so if they can just take the model and implement it there, I feel like that's how we'll see the most impactful change.
I mean, it's incredible to even hear you talk about it more because you can tell how passionate you are about it, but also it's like, yeah, it doesn't, I love that you're saying like, the goal isn't for Steph and I to have our faces on this. Like, it's literally like we're trying to use what we have to make change. It's incredible you're doing that. Okay, you obviously, we were earlier talking about Sweet July and how you've had all of these moments, but now you have Sweet July skin.
Yeah.
Talk to me about, well, first of all, talk to me about where did that name come from?
So Sweet July started because I realized that a lot of the like high endorphin, excitement, happy moments in my life happen at one time. And that was in July because of the kids being born, our anniversary, having my man home in the off season. And I realized like after, the gratefulness would kind of taper off. Like there was this like heightened gratefulness during that. Like, I'm so grateful. Thank you, God. And then it would kind of, I'm just being honest, it would taper off. And I was like, no, that's not okay. Like you can find so much joy in like the smallest of things. Like I'm sure you get joy when you drink your Unwell.
I do.
Right. It's like a cup of coffee, putting on a lip gloss. Like what are those small things that you can just pause for a second and be like, no, I can have gratitude in this moment and just appreciate it a little bit more and find the beauty in the small things. And so it came about that way. But yeah, we launched Sweet July Skin. We just celebrated our second birthday.
Congrats.
And thank you.
Wait,
and
what made you want to get into the skincare industry?
Well, I struggle and obviously to this day with my skin. I always have. Like my mom and my grandma do not. So I must have got the other side of the genetics. It's fine. But I started to remember all of these like traditional island remedies that they would speak to help them with their skin. And so I started to do some research and it was really science backed. And so, and I'm just a skincare junkie, honestly. So we started working with a lab and a chemist and formulating Sweet July Skin based off of these like Caribbean superfoods backed by science. And so that's kind of how it was born. It's so ironic though. There's like things you can control and there's things you just can't. So like even right now, like I'm having this crazy hormonal breakout. And so the confidence of being like, I own a skincare brand and this being out of my control right now is crazy. I know there's so many women dealing with like PCOS and like different things. And there's just some things that you cannot control. And I think what's been so great about these products is they're clean, vegan for the most part. And these aren't products that you're going to use on your skin and it's going to add to the problem. It's going to help keep them at bay. It's anti-inflammatory. It's not going to irritate you. And so I think I love it for that reason. And I'm kind of like a walking spokesperson right now because my skin ebbs and flows and that's okay.
I really think it's incredible though that you're just saying it how it is because let's be real, like so much goes into marketing of certain quote unquote celebrity brands, whether it's makeup or skincare or clothing or whatever. And like my frustration in the skincare industry, especially with celebrities, is like, girl, some of us don't have the most perfect skin. And so to act like you got that skin from this line, even though I've seen your skin has been perfect forever, like being real. But I'm not saying you're never going to break out because that's just your body.
That'd be a lie. Yeah.
All right, Daddy Gang, this is an ad by BetterHelp. I have had such a busy year so far, and lately I've been wanting to take some time to reflect and just check in on my mental health. I have been really interested in exploring different forms of therapy, so I've been doing a lot of research into what technique might be best for me to try next. But as amazing as the internet is for finding resources, I have also found that the information overload, it can sometimes make me feel even more anxious. Like there's so much advice right at your fingertips, and it can quickly go from being helpful to extremely overwhelming. I feel like there's a trendy solution for everything these days. You can take a cold plunge, do a gratitude journal, like do a screen detox. Everyone on the internet has an opinion on what you should be doing, and it can honestly become a struggle to know what the right course of action should be for you. But that is where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp offers trusted resources and live therapists to get you personal recommendations that help break through the online noise. With over 30,000 therapists worldwide, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. Plus, BetterHelp is extremely convenient, right? You can join a session with a therapist at the click of a button. You don't need to leave your home. And also, if you are not vibing with a therapist, you can switch at any time. I always say therapy is kind of like dating. You don't have to just stay with someone. You can always break up with them and find someone new. So as the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/daddy. That's betterhelp.com/daddy. What do you want your kids to take away from watching you and Steph achieve so much together?
And I think I can speak on both of our behalves when I say I think we would want them to see all of the successes and failures, triumphs, tribulations, but see, one, that the most important thing was still family, and then two, see that we were better in all of it, regardless of which one of us it was, doing it together.
What do you hope your personal legacy is?
So I'm big on like impact over legacy. And so I think, like at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't matter what anybody has to think or say. Like, what did I do while I was here? And so as long as what I've done and what I've offered to the world or things that I've tried to change have been impactful, then that will be good enough for me. Yeah. And as long as my kids are nice people, I could care less what they do for a living when they get older or what path they choose to take. If they're nice people who care about their neighbor, like I will feel like I've done a great job.
I am so happy I got to sit down with you because you have such a warm, kind energy.
Oh, thank you.
To get to know you as a woman sitting here today, also getting to know you more as an individual, hearing about your businesses, hearing about you as a mother, hearing about you just as Ayesha, not the mother, but the business entrepreneur, someone who took something that she was passionate about and turned it into this like incredible empire that young you probably would have been like, girl, pinch yourself, like look at your life. It's incredible what you've built for yourself.
Thank you.
And thank you for just like taking the time. That wasn't that scary, right?
Thank you. No. It was at first.
Okay.
And then it wasn't.
We're done. No, you're amazing. Thank you so much for coming on Call Her Daddy. It was truly amazing.
I had so much fun.
What is up, Daddy Gang? It is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy. Dave Franco, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you so much.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good. How you feeling?
I feel like this is kind of like a random matchup.
Tell me why.
I mean, I usually interview more women.
Oh, okay.
I do enjoy interviewing men.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't obviously like crossed paths ever.
Sure.
And I remember when I was talking to my team, I was like, I think we could do something interesting here.
I agree. And I just want to start by saying, first off, everything you're saying is accurate. But I did watch your documentary, which I absolutely loved.
Oh my God, thank you.
And it was just me at home by myself, just crying my eyes out. And
Dang.
and what I want to say is, I actually think we have a lot in common.
Really?
And this is just kind of what I took, and please tell me if I'm wrong.
No,
but
yeah.
I think just kind of how you approach work, I really relate to it in the sense that it just seems like you're almost incapable of doing anything half-assed.
Yes.
Everything you do, you want it to be unique and original and surprising. It seems like you love being a leader, but you also really appreciate and respect everyone around you and recognize this is a collaboration. And also you work with your partner and you guys just build each other up in such a sweet way. And I relate to all of that.
Dave, how am I supposed to now go and roast you? Like, I thought I was gonna be like, all right, Dave, now I'm about to start crying. No, I really appreciate that because obviously I know you, and we're gonna get to that, work with your wife, and which I like respect so much. And I always think it's so funny when people are like, how the fuck do you work with your partner?
I know everyone asks it and they ask it in that tone.
Right?
And I'm like, no. You're projecting on me because you're thinking about what it would be like working with your own partner.
Right.
Like, this works. Don't put that on us.
Right, like you guys have your own shit over there, but we couldn't be happier.
Exactly.
It's the easiest part of my job.
It really
right?
is. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for saying that though, because you know how it is when you put out a piece of work and you're so anxious,
Of course.
and wanting people to enjoy it, but then you also have to stay true to yourself and make sure that creatively, even if people don't like it, like this is what I want to do and this is what I'm going to do. And so it was a risk, but I'm happy you liked it.
100%. And I feel like one thing that I have gotten better at over the years is really holding on to that idea where if I make something that I am genuinely proud of course I want it to resonate with audiences. Of course I want people to see it. But at the end of the day, it's like, I wouldn't have done this any differently. And so I got to be happy with that.
So true. I mean, it sucks when it bombs, but you know,
Sure.
you're like, okay, maybe I do need to go a little bit more mainstream on that next time, but it's very humbling.
Yes.
Okay, usually when someone comes and sits down with me, I stalk them on social media just to
Okay.
like catch a vibe.
Right.
You don't have social
That's
media.
correct. Yeah.
Are you a very private person?
I generally am, which makes kind of doing like promo for any movie a little strange because it's not me in my element. But at the same time, I've also gotten much better at this where I recognize this is a big part of my job and I'm just going to lean in and I'm going to do my best and I'm going to be as vulnerable as I can be.
Yeah.
But I'm not on social media and it kind of comes from a place of being a little scared of it. I think I've gotten to a place in my life where I've surrounded myself with really kind people who I love and trust. And so I have my like really warm little bubble. And I know that if I'm on social media, it's like, no matter who you are, you're going to receive some hate every single day. And I just didn't want to invite that into my daily life.
Everyone's watching like, yes, Dave. Preach, Dave. Same, Dave. Okay, how do you get intel on people?
Like on...
If you're like, I guess you're a guy. You don't even want the drama. You want the tea.
I don't.
Do you know what the tea means? You know what the tea means.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm not that old.
Do you know what the renegade is?
No, I am that old.
It's a trend on TikTok.
What is it? Tell me.
It's a dance.
Okay.
Charli D'Amelio was like really known for it.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
I was hoping you weren't going to follow up with that question. I'm just taking a sip of water. I'm getting parched. Hold on.
Dave is literally like, I'm going to just say yes to things. But then when she asks me, like, explain, you're going to be like, so no. But you know what TikTok is?
Of course.
Do you ever take thirst traps, like, just for yourself?
What do you mean take thirst traps?
Okay.
I know what a thirst trap is, but what do you mean to take one?
Like, do you ever just, like, take, like, a dashing selfie?
Oh, just for me. No, I'll do it for Allison every once in a while.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about opening up to the daddy gang today?
I feel pretty good about it, actually. I since watching the documentary, since listening to some episodes, I feel like I feel comfortable with your energy. And as you said, when I got here, you got me, and I trust that.
We're not going to fuck this up.
Yes.
Has there ever been a time, though, that you've done an interview or just like in your life that you've overshared and then regretted it later?
Oh, man. I'm sure. Oh God. I mean, whatever it is, I probably don't want to bring it up again now. I'm sure I want it to be buried. But my wife is a massive oversharer. She would admit that herself. You meet her and she will whatever you want to know.
And you're like, babe.
Truly.
No. And she's like, 1 second, Dave. Anyway, so our family drama. And you're like, what
exactly.
the fuck are you saying?
She's talking about my dick all of a sudden. I'm just like, babe, Jesus Christ.
Did you tell anyone in your life that you were doing this day, and like what were their thoughts?
Of course, yeah. And the honest truth is that like my publicist, the distributor of this film, all they want to know about is when are you doing Call Her
What are you doing, Call Her Daddy?
Call Her Daddy. And I was like, guys, chill and stop putting pressure on this.
I'm dead.
But yes, everyone loves you and is very excited about this.
Okay, so do you want to start with your sex life or your childhood trauma?
Jesus Christ.
I'm just kidding. I'm obsessed. We're going to start easy.
Okay.
I'm going to literally just like give you a few things and you're just going to tell me your first reaction, how you feel about them. How do we feel about zins?
Oh man, I don't know what that is. I'm so sorry. Can I guess what this is?
Yes.
I think, is it like dip?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes.
I do know this. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What is your vice? Like, you don't do zins?
I definitely don't. My vice. Oh my God. I mean, I'm the guy who's getting frisky when he like splits a second glass of wine with his wife at dinner.
That's so fucking real. How old are you?
I'm 40. I just turned 40.
Oh my God. That tracks. I feel like once you hit 30s, 40s, you're like, wine? I am insane. Like, I'm starting to feel that way. Getting into my 30s now, I'm like, I just had 2 glasses of wine. I'm like at the club. I'm sitting in my kitchen, but I feel like I'm at the club. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. It takes you out for the next week.
Week. Emphasis on week, not day. Okay. How do you feel about the term short kings?
I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to lie and pretend like I'm not what I am. I think I've embraced this many years ago, and it's funny because like, you know what? It is what it is, and I think people like try to come at you for this thing that I can't even control. And I'm like, it's fine. I guess the main thing is my wife's down with it, and she's a little bit shorter than me, so that's good too. And
she's stunning, gorgeous, successful, smart, all the things. So like, you're doing something right. Okay, magic tricks.
I assume you bring this up because I've been in 3 magic movies.
Yes.
I feel good about it. I weirdly am like very good at throwing cards.
Really?
It's like kind of what my character does in the movie. And I remember on the first one when I was learning how to do it, I had like stacks and stacks of cards, and it was just me in my apartment in New Orleans throwing cards against the wall until my arm went dead. But now I can like cut a banana in half. And
wait, what?
People are like, do you carry cards with you everywhere? And I'm like, no, I also am not going to be the guy who shows up at a party and is like, hey guys, check this out.
That's literally almost as bad as the guy that like pulls out his guitar at a party and you're like,
yes, it's worse.
John, stop. You're not John Mayer. Shut the fuck up.
Totally.
Dude, okay, but do you feel like people at parties are like looking for you to do party tricks now?
It comes up, but again, no one has a deck of cards on them, so I get out of it pretty easy.
That's fair.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, men with cats.
I mean,
yeah.
If there was anything that defined me, when I met Allison, I was the single guy with 2 18-pound cats, and I know, as you can imagine, we called them the Panthers, and as you can imagine, that kind of weeds out the dating pool a bit. Not a lot of girls are down with that.
Oh, wait, Dave, rewind.
Yeah.
2 18-pound cats.
Yeah.
What, when, how, why?
A lot of people are like, did you overfeed them? Were they fat? No, they were big, proportionate cats. They just had big heads, and their bodies followed suit.
What? Wait, and did you get them at the same time?
Yeah, they're brothers.
Why did you decide cats were for you?
We grew up with cats.
Okay.
Yes. I assume with your tonality that you did not.
Well, no, and maybe this is me being like, so this is definitely a sexist comment, but like I don't think of men and cats as much.
Yes,
it's more of like a female thing, which is like so fucked up to say, but I'm gonna say it. It's not that bad. And chill. Internet chill. We don't need to cancel me over saying men don't go with cats that well. But cats. Okay, and did you think about your dating life when you got the cats?
No, the cats came first. And they were going to decide who I should be with.
Perfect. And Allison loved them, so you were fine.
Yes, and what ended up happening was we had been dating for a few months, and I was spending most nights at her place, and the cats were feeling neglected. And so at one point, I said to her, I was like, hey, I'm not asking to move in, but is it cool if my cats move into your place? Because we're over here all the time.
No.
So we moved my cats in technically before I moved in.
You bring the litter box.
Truly, yeah.
That is, I love that for you, Dave.
Thank you.
Okay, how do we feel about crying during rom-coms?
Oh, yeah, all about it.
Okay.
I love a rom-com.
Okay.
The second movie I directed was a rom-com.
Yep. Favorite rom-com?
Ooh, I mean, gosh, the first ones that come to mind, Notting Hill, When Harry Met Sally, classics. Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh my God, I remember
What's
that.
yours?
Oh, I would have to say Sleepless in Seattle growing up, but then The Proposal with Sandra Bullock.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yes,
oh my
yes.
God. Okay, keeping your childhood nickname.
I mean, that's my life.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So what is your childhood nickname?
Well, Davey. And most people in my life still call me Davey.
Really?
Yeah.
Does your wife call you Davey?
What does she call me?
Oh.
I guess she calls me babe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
She rarely, I feel like sometimes when Matt calls me Alex, I'm like, am I in
Oh,
trouble?
definitely.
Because he never calls me Alex. So then I'm
Definitely.
like, what did I do?
I know. And so my real name is David,
Okay.
but no one has ever really called me that. And when I was a kid, my brother had this kid in his class named David that he hated. So he said, "You're not going to be named David." That's how I became Davey. And I guess, the people that know me well, most people call me Davey.
So Dave is almost like formal for you.
A little bit.
This is like you're like Dave Franco here.
Sure.
But then Davey at home.
By the end of this interview, you'll be calling me Davey.
Perfect. Okay, one of your first roles was in Superbad.
Yes.
And Jonah Hill calls you out for pissing your pants.
Correct.
Looking back, what was one of the most embarrassing things that ever happened to you in school?
Ooh, okay. While I think about that, let me just talk about that scene in Superbad real quick.
Okay.
So I had a journey with that scene in and of itself where I only have a few lines in this movie, but the movie was so big that people did recognize me on the street and they were yelling at me, "Why don't you go piss your pants again?" And I quickly realized, like, I got to keep working and get more jobs so I'm not piss boy for the rest of my life.
That is so real. Like, fuck my life.
Okay, so I guess on theme with that, okay, I remember going to a party in high school. I was probably a junior, and this like cool senior guy comes up to me, this like football player, and he says, "We're gonna sit down and we're gonna share this fifth of vodka, and we're not leaving until we finish it." And I'm like, cool. And,
Perfect.
he's a big guy. He can handle his alcohol. I am not a big person. I was even smaller then, but I was trying to fit in. He was like the cool older guy. So we do it, and I black out. And my friends, tell me after the fact that people are sticking pens down my throat to get me to throw up. Cut to a couple hours later, I wake up on the floor of my friend's bedroom. I don't know where I am. I have pissed myself. I waddle to the bathroom to try to clean up. I turn on the lights and look in the mirror, and I have penises drawn over every inch of my face.
Dave.
I know. So I don't have the energy or the strength to wash it off. I just want to get home to my bed. So I finally make it home. I get in bed, and almost immediately my mom comes in my bedroom. And before she says anything, I say, "I have penises on my face." And she says, "I can see that, honey." And my sweet mom, she lets me sleep it off. But I have not, I wouldn't say I have not drank vodka since, but I despise vodka.
I was going to ask you, like, is there an alcohol? Because for me, I cannot even smell Fireball. Like, I will fucking projectile vomit. So yours is vodka.
Yes. And in college, God, what was the really cheap stuff? Popov?
Oh,
or
no, wait, what the fuck is that?
I'm old.
No, but pop off,
Pop off.
Dave, pop off, Dave. I mean, you popped off. Okay, so that was your no,
That's
never
the
again.
No, ever again. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say, and then from then on, I never had penises drawn on my face again.
Oh, I'm wondering if that ever happened again.
Okay.
I can't say no, but nothing comes to mind.
Okay, that is really sad, and I now need to know, like, what was young Dave like? Like, did you go through an awkward phase?
I was debilitatingly shy. I was the kid who said like 6 words out loud in middle school. I was just so quiet, and I remember I had a crush on this girl in 6th grade, and I heard that like maybe she might sort of be kind of interested, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna seal the deal. I'm gonna get her a present. So I went to 7-Eleven and I got her like a big bag of candy. And so I come to lunch the next day, and I had this whole like thing in my head. It was gonna be this big romantic gesture. And when I was kind of confronted with the moment, just the anxiety took over. And so what happened was, kind of saw her from a distance. She was under this tree with her friends, and I started running at her. And when I got close enough, I threw the bag of candy and continued running away without breaking stride.
You literally did a hit and run.
And safe to say, we didn't end up together, but that's a good representative of who I was at the time.
That's so innocent and pure, and like you can't even go up to her and give her candy.
Truly.
Why do you think you were so shy?
God, I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I got out of my shyness towards the end of high school, but I was just a really sensitive kid. Like, I was the guy who was listening to Goo Goo Dolls and Counting Crows and like the first John Mayer album, Room for Squares. And like, I actually did. I had a longer term girlfriend in high school, and I would, again, I was writing her poetry, and like but it was the type of poetry, like my process at the time was I would write everything out like in very simple terms, and then I would get a thesaurus, and with every word in the poem, I would find like the most flowery version of that word. And so these poems were like, consisted of words like, bespoke and languid and chartreuse.
And did your girlfriend love these, or she like,
I don't know. I might have forced this on her.
Holy shit. You like playing like Iris in the background, like, and I give up forever to touch you. And you're like, my dear lover.
Absolutely.
That is so fucking amazing.
Oh,
wait,
man.
Were you bullied at all?
I wasn't.
Okay.
That was the thing. I wasn't the shy kid who got bullied. Okay. I was just left on his own. Okay. But I did have good friends. I will say I had really great friends, but we had like kind of the group who we weren't the most popular. We weren't unpopular. We were just kind of there. We were playing ultimate frisbee at lunch.
That really, really paints the picture.
Okay, yeah.
The guys in high school that were playing ultimate frisbee, I'm trying to think. Yeah, okay, that tracks with then like the poems.
Sure, and the 2 18-pound cats. It's all lining up.
But that I feel like is when women look back, they're like, and that is who I should have fucking married, but instead I talked to the fucking douchebag that made me cry my eyes out every 5 fucking seconds.
Sure.
That makes sense. I think a lot of people in the beginning of your career were always like, okay, this guy is always playing kind of like a high schooler. Yeah. And it almost is like he's aging backwards.
Sure, yeah.
Dave, talk to me about the skincare routine.
Oh, wow. The skincare routine is basically Allison's skincare routine. I've stolen everything from her. Why wouldn't I? She looks incredible. So
fucking real. Men have no idea what they're doing. That Matt says the same thing to me. He's like, what's that you're putting on under your eyes? Should I be doing that? And
Absolutely.
I'm like, Matt, he has one lotion that he puts on his body and his face. And I'm like, honey.
But you got to start early before it's too late. You got to get that sunscreen in your daily moisture.
Are you messing around with like snail mucin? Yeah. No. Yeah. You're like, Allison, do we have snail mucin?
Yeah. What about, honestly, no, but I can't confirm for sure.
You don't even know what's going on your face. How many steps are in the routine? How about that?
Ooh, I'm gonna say like 3 or 4.
Have you heard of like the salmon sperm that people are putting on their face?
Go on.
Would you try it?
Tell me more.
It's very hydrating.
Okay. Do you use it?
I've tried the snail mucin. Okay. I haven't tried the salmon sperm.
You were just selling it hard.
Well, I've heard Kim Kardashian has put it on her face, so I'm like, ooh, should I try this?
You're open to it.
I'm open.
Dipping a toe in.
Would you be open?
If Allison does it, I'll do it.
Okay, perfect. Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Tinder. Daddy Gang. You know that feeling of finding an amazing hole-in-the-wall restaurant when you're traveling to a foreign city? There is truly nothing better than having the best meal of your life surrounded by locals where nobody knows you're a tourist. Well, with Tinder's help, you can have more moments like that and get a true taste of the local life. Tinder's passport mode can be the best travel companion when you're looking for a local tour guide in any city in the world. Try Tinder Passport globally to connect locally during your travels or even before you start packing, all while making traveling to a new place feel easier. With Tinder's help, add more plans to your itinerary by matching with a local and setting a date to see the city through their eyes. Passport mode is also a great way to help immerse yourself deeper into the culture and have more authentic experiences while traveling. With Passport mode, there's so much to discover. Explore all of the possibilities for yourself. Tinder, it starts with a swipe. Download Tinder today. Okay. High school drug dealer in 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
What was the most trouble that you ever got into in high school?
Oh God, not much.
Not much. You didn't like get arrested?
No,
Okay.
no. My brothers both got arrested, and I think because of that, and they're 5 and 7 years older than me, and I think because of that, my parents, they were just very tired by the time I came along. I was definitely a mistake. My mom says it's the best mistake she ever made. But they kind of let me do my thing because they just didn't have the energy. And I think because of that, I didn't feel the need to rebel. And so I was a pretty good kid.
That makes so much sense because I feel like if you have wilder older siblings, like my older siblings were not wild.
Yeah.
So I was like the one truly wreaking havoc in my house where my mom was like, okay, Alex, like we can do this. Like,
What was the worst type of thing you would do?
oh my God. Like I literally ordered like a fucking, at that time there wasn't Amazon. So I ordered like this like retractable ladder off of eBay.
Okay.
And I tried to figure out how to put bolts into the bottom of my room. And then I would flip it over my window so I could climb out to go see my boyfriend who had a DUI at the time.
Sure.
And when he picked me up, had like literally the backwards hat, the earrings, and he was like driving so fucking slow to his house. And I was like, wait, why are you driving so slow? My parents are going to be home soon. We have to get home. He's like, oh no, like I have a DUI. So like I can't, like I'm driving on like, I don't have a license right now. And I literally was like, so hot. Like, Alex, wake up, honey. This is not hot. This is problematic.
Oh,
but at the time, I just was like a little rebellious with boys.
Sure.
But you were like sitting in your room writing poetry.
Exactly.
You weren't getting in trouble.
No,
this is okay.
Yeah.
You said that you got cast in 21 Jump Street because of the sketches that you were doing on Funny or Die.
Oh.
First of all, can you explain to people that may not know what that is, what is Funny or Die? And then also
God, wow.
what were I know. I'm sorry. You're like, okay, Alex, remind me one more time. No.
Okay, Funny or Die was basically a comedy sketch website run by Will Ferrell, Judd Apatow, and Adam McKay, who were and are some of the best, comedy people ever. Anyway, I started making videos for them with one of my closest friends who I grew up with, and basically it was kind of my film school. We were writing these videos, we were acting in them, directing them, editing them. And, we were making some weird stuff. This was like where we figured like, let's push the boundaries. Let's try things. And worst case scenario, no one sees them. But best case scenario, if a video hit on Funny or Die at the time, that website was so big that like more people could see it than if you did an independent film. And so the stuff that we were doing,
Oh my God, what?
kind of bringing it back to 21 Jump Street. So with 21 Jump Street, that audition process was very arduous. I went in like 6 or 7 times for that movie. And towards the end of that process, I put out a video on Funny or Die where me and my good buddy, Chris Mintz-Plasse, we made a video called You're So Hot, where we basically told each other in vivid detail how much we wanted to fuck each other. And after I landed the role in 21 Jump Street, the directors told me, they were like, part of the reason we gave this to you is because we saw that video and we recognized that this guy understands comedy.
Oh my God.
But believe it or not, that's not the weirdest video we put up. I put up a video called Go Fuck Yourself, where it's me and a girlfriend at the beginning. We're breaking up, and as she's leaving, she says, "Why don't you go fuck yourself?" And so then it cuts to me in a bar, and I end up meeting another version of myself. And you can kind of see where this is going, but it cuts to us on the beach and we're having this like very cute beach day together. It's two versions of me. We're flying a kite. We're pushing each other on the swings. And then it hard cuts to me fucking myself so hard where the top version of me is like flexing. Oh. And I remember sending the first cut to Funny or Die. And let's say the video is like, 2.5 minutes. I think like 45 seconds of that was me fucking myself. And they were like, okay, this is pretty good, but maybe make the sex scene like 3 seconds. And
you're like, you don't love this? This is incredible.
To be fair, 3 seconds was like probably still too gratuitous.
You're like, I thought it was like cinematic history. And meanwhile, they're like, can you cut it to a third?
Truly.
That is okay. Wow. That really paints the picture. But while you were saying that, I couldn't help but think also like, wait, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Palo Alto in Northern California.
Okay. So obviously you had family that was in the industry. Like your brother was getting into it. And you say you're a shy kid.
Yeah.
How did you know you even wanted to get into this industry?
When I was 14, I worked at a mom and pop video store, and it was actually legal for me to be working there at that age. And so they basically paid me by allowing me to take home as many movies as I wanted. And it was the year 1999, which is now regarded as one of the best movie years ever. And it's like all these seminal films like The Matrix, Blair Witch Project, American Beauty, American Pie, Fight Club, Being John Malkovich, like all these amazing films that have kind of like formed me ever since. And so that was like the perfect time to be working there, and just got me into movies in general. And I was like, I just want to be a part of this any way I can. And so when I came out to, I'm going on a tangent now, sorry, but I came out to LA originally to go to school. I was going to USC. And when I came down here, my brother's manager, he kind of forced me into this acting class, but I had never performed in any way. And again, I was very shy, and I remember being in this class, and I hated it at first because I was just like, every time I was on stage, I was so nervous. But in the back of my head, I was like, this is a path into this business, and I want to stick it out. And over time, I really do think that helped bring me out of my shell a little bit. And it's kind of led to this like amazing thing now where, of course, I've like grown to really love acting, but now I'm lucky enough where I get to do some stuff behind the camera too, where I get to kind of go back and forth and do a little bit of everything that I've always wanted to do.
Wow. That's really cool though, to hear like knowing your childhood and being like, you were like more introverted, you're writing, you're not as, social. And then I do feel like I've talked to enough actors that were like, a lot of us were like considered like maybe like the weirder kids or we were shyer. And then this kind of like brought a side out of you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do a little hard pivot here.
Okay.
I'll talk about surprise parties.
Okay. You've done some research?
I need you to talk about the time that your wife tried to throw you a surprise party. You need to tell us a story.
Let me drink some water to get into this.
Take a drink. Because I think the Daddy King needs to hear this. Because I think this also does kind of paint more of the picture of you as a person.
Yes. Okay. So Allison and I had been together just for a few months. And my birthday was coming up. And I will preface this by saying everything she did was coming from such a sweet place. She was really trying to do something kind for me. But we just didn't know each other that well yet. And so in her mind, she was like, I'm going to throw him a surprise party. I'm going to invite all these people. It's going to be incredible. Not knowing that like my perfect birthday is going out to the middle of nowhere, just being with her. I don't want anyone to talk to me. Don't look at me. Just want to be in nature, just by ourselves. So basically what happens is I come home one day and I open the door, and it's a bunch of people. Not only is it a surprise party, but it's like I think it was a Back to the Future themed party. So everyone was dressed up, and they had a little Marty McFly outfit for me. And I'm looking around, and some people are my friends, but some people I haven't talked to in many, many years, and there was a reason for that. And so I decide to cope with this. I need to consume a weed cookie. And I ended up having the first panic attack of my life. And just to kind of like give you the picture of how many people were there and how random this was. My mom was there. She flew out for it, but like she went to the 101 Cafe the next morning, and the waiter at the 101 Cafe comes up to her and he's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. This is so weird, but are you Betsy Franco?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, sorry. I almost went to your son's surprise party last night."
No.
The random guy at the 101 Cafe was almost there. I'm remembering someone was dressed up as cocaine. It was a whole thing. And so we still talk today. We survived the surprise party. We can survive anything, but every birthday since has been us in the middle of nature.
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
How the fuck did she come up with the list of people she was inviting?
What ended up happening was she went to two of my friends that she had met, who I adore these people, but I would not assign them to make the guest list for my surprise party. So they started adding people. Those people started adding people. You know, my manager's assistant's best friend's sister was there. It got weird.
Picturing you thinking like, I'm going to take this edible because this is going to put me right where I need to be.
Sure.
And then what, are you like in the bathroom or in your bedroom?
Eventually I was downstairs and I was like, everyone needs to leave. And of course the guy dressed as cocaine would not leave.
No. That's so real. You're like, bro, get the fuck out of my house.
Yes.
That is, wow. Okay, so now she's never done it again.
No.
And now you guys just chill.
Go to nature. Yeah.
What is it about being the center of attention that makes you uncomfortable?
It's funny saying this on this podcast right now, but I don't love talking about myself. And I think part of that is as much as I think I have gotten over my shyness to a certain extent, I think my just my natural being is I still am an introvert. And also, like, I know everything about me and I'm bored of me and I'm a very curious person and I tend to ask a lot of questions. If you talk to anyone who knows me, like, some people call me 20 questions. And so I'm more like, I want to know more about other people than continuing to talk about myself.
Okay, well, that's a great quality to have. At least you're not like a narcissist and self-centered.
I hope so.
This is good. This is great information, Dave. See, this is
it all? It feels like it's all lining up.
It is.
Yeah. There's a couple outliers, but like,
it's very cohesive.
Yeah.
And the cats are the main grounding point.
I agree with that,
Truly.
actually.
Okay, so you end up dropping out of college.
Yeah.
And you go to do a horror movie that never made it to theaters.
Let me tell you about this.
Yeah, tell me everything.
Okay, so I got a month away from graduating.
Okay.
And I got my first lead role in a project. And I was telling my teachers, like, please let me finish from online. Somehow let me do this from afar. It's only a month left. And they were like, no, you have to be here. So I was like, all right, this is what I want to do. I'm going to go do this movie. So I drop out. I go to Winnipeg, Canada. Winnipeg.
Yep.
Yeah.
My husband's made movies there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So we were there in the dead of winter, staying on what they considered the windiest corner in all of Canada. Very brutal conditions. It was this very physically demanding shoot. So I got very hurt on this one as well. I dislocated my shoulder. I lost my voice a couple times from screaming so much, bruises all over my body. But I was having the time of my life. I'm like, I'm doing the work. I'm really doing this thing I want to do. So there was 2 weeks to go on the movie. And I remember I had the day off and the main girl, she knocks on my door and I'm like, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be on set. And she's like, shit's going down. So we find out that they hadn't been paying the crew for weeks. We find out they have no money left.
That'll do it.
Yeah. So we all go home. We're waiting for the call for them to be like, we've spent millions of dollars. Let's come back and finish these final 2 weeks. We never go back. So I was devastated. I dropped out of school for this. I dislocated my shoulder for this. This was my first lead role. In hindsight, probably best that it fell apart.
Why?
So this was it was a B horror movie called Bad Meat. And the tagline was, it's the meat, it's bad.
Stop.
So what I found out recently, this is many years ago, but what I found out recently is they actually brought in an entirely new cast to fill in the scenes that we didn't shoot. And they put together this like weird, jigsaw puzzle of a movie. And just last week, me and my friends watched it for the first time. And the worst part about it, I mean, it's terrible, but the worst part is that I was the lead of this movie. We didn't finish the movie. We didn't give them enough footage. And somehow they still cut out half of my scenes. That's how bad I was in Bad Meat.
Dave.
My friends are watching this movie almost embarrassed, being like, dude, you're not even in this thing.
Now I need to go and watch it. Now the
Please
whole
don't.
daddy gang.
Please
No,
don't.
please watch together before you
Yes.
watch fucking Pass. Watch, all of a sudden it becomes the #1 trending
Holy
movie.
shit, please
Wait,
don't.
Dave.
I know.
That is such a fucking ego hit too. You're like, all right, let's tune in. You're like, where am I? You're like, wait. I did all this shit in fucking Winnipeg for this?
I know.
Dude.
I know.
And did they ever like send you guys an email about it or no? You would
No,
find out through the grapevine.
I can't even tell you how I found out, but it took about 15 years for me to find out.
That is beyond humbling. That is...
It's nice to have those moments.
yeah, you're like, all right, brought me back down to earth. Okay, let's talk about Neighbors. You shot with Seth Rogen. I have to know, have you smoked weed with Seth?
Ooh, God, I must have, but like no epic smoking session comes to mind. That said, I might have been too scared because like I did smoke a lot of weed in college, but since then it just hits me too hard. And I feel like I would have been maybe a little too scared to smoke with Seth, knowing how strong his stuff probably is.
That's how I felt when I interviewed Wiz Khalifa.
Okay.
Dave, I was like, okay, I can't be a fucking bitch. Like, I gotta...
Did you smoke with him during the interview?
I did.
How'd it go?
Well, so... I think he thought it was fine, and I think I was fine, but I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
And so I had never like really smoked in an interview before, except I did with Chelsea Handler, but like Chelsea was mainly taking it, and I was just like, I took a baby hit.
Okay, yeah.
But Wiz, I was like trying to impress him. Like I was like, okay, Dave, not kidding you, after like one big hit, because he was smoking and then I was trying to match his energy. We were making eye contact. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I looked down in my cards and then I forgot, like, did I speak? What was I saying? What was I doing? I couldn't remember if I was like engaging with him. I look back, thank God it was funny.
I was going to say, do you rewatch some episodes sometimes?
I edit my episodes.
Oh, there we go.
So I'm like,
that's right.
bitch. And so then I was like editing it a little tighter. Like sometimes my pauses were like, Wiz. And then I was like, let's cut that gap where I just stared at him blankly for 10 fucking seconds.
Did it create this kind of different energy than most of your episodes, though?
Yes.
Yeah,
but
that's
then,
fun.
But then we started talking about the randomest shit. Like I was asking about camping. Like we were on a different trajectory.
I like that.
It was fun.
Give it a little different flavor.
But I was going to say, I want to know who your dream blunt rotation would be, even though like I'm assuming you don't smoke much, because I feel the same way. If I was in a room with Seth Rogen, I would be fucking terrified that I was going to be a little pussy ass bitch and I couldn't keep up.
Sure.
So talk to me if you had to feel
anything
good.
The guys on Mount Rushmore are Seth, Snoop.
Yep.
I've also worked with Snoop. Just a quick side story about that. We did this movie with Jamie Foxx called Day Shift, and we went on this like crazy press tour, as you can imagine, very fun. But I ended up getting COVID and I missed the LA premiere. And so I was in bed. I was like really bummed that I couldn't be there. And I get this FaceTime call from a number I don't know. And I'm feeling like shit. And I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone, but definitely not someone I don't know. So I ignore it. I immediately get a text from that same number saying, it's Snoop, pick up. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm about to fucking FaceTime with Snoop when I'm feeling like dog shit. So I do. And he was just the sweetest. He's like, hey man, I heard you're not feeling well. We got you. You're here in spirit. And all of a sudden I just realized, I'm like, oh, Snoop is the cure for COVID. I feel immediately better. Let's go.
You're like, Snoop, I'm on my way to the premiere. Oh my God. That's so funny though. You have to like turn it on immediately, but then you're like, I actually feel completely fine now that I'm talking to you. Then you hang up and then you're like, okay, I feel like
what
shit
a
again.
Sweetheart.
Okay, so who would you want to smoke with? I'll tell you mine.
Tell me.
To like warm us up.
Please.
I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I was thinking about that Seth Rogen thing. And I was like, obviously, like anyone's dream is to smoke with Seth. But I was like, my personality when I smoke is like, I want to be alone.
I agree with that.
And I don't even want to smoke. I want to take a little edible.
Yep, me too.
And then I want to lay in bed next to my husband and I want to watch a show and then I want to fade off into the distance.
We're on the same page.
So I need to feel really comfortable.
Yes.
And I want to feel cozy and I want to feel like I don't really have to do much. So here's my dream blunt rotation. Number 1, Jane Goodall.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We're starting strong.
Mm-hmm.
Cozy, comfortable. She's gonna
Just her general demeanor
Yes.
and that like calm energy.
She's gonna keep us right where we need to be.
Okay.
No one's having a panic attack.
That makes a lot of sense to me,
right?
actually.
She's gonna be there through thick and thin.
Yes.
If we're having a panic attack, she'll be the one to be like, darling, you're gonna
Yes.
be fine.
Look how she is with the apes. How do you think
Exactly.
she's going to be with you?
Then we need someone that is gonna be calming, wise, insightful, that's gonna like kind of start a conversation. Because
Yes.
we're not all in bed together. We're sitting around. David Letterman.
Oh, interesting.
I've been thinking about this too a lot lately.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. I feel like he would be chill as fuck, but he would really bring the wisdom that we all are just, I could be lockjaw, just quiet and listen to him.
I hear what you're saying.
Spew wisdom.
Is he known to be a smoker?
I have no idea.
Continue.
Not a clue. Number 3.
You've thought about this.
Who is generating the vibes though?
Okay.
It can't be so serious and so downer. Who's bringing the music? Rihanna.
Okay.
That little round table right there, I picture them in my living room. David sitting in the club chair. Jane and Rihanna are on the couch. I'm on the other couch. Feet up, fuzzy socks on, candles lit, vibes.
Let me ask this though.
Okay.
They're all coming in with very different energies.
Absolutely.
Which energy, one has to kind of overtake the other?
I think David's leading the conversation.
Okay, I like that.
Because I'm just picturing I'm mute. I'm basically not there.
Jane's bringing the calmness. Rihanna's bringing the vibes. David's just kind of like ushering us through this. He's just like, he's doing most of the talking.
Yes.
We're just sitting back. We're just taking in the stories.
Yes, he's kind of like our shaman.
I like
he's
that.
leading us down wherever he wants us to go.
This all makes a lot of sense to
He's
me.
talking about life.
Yeah.
He's talking about life.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
talking
yeah.
Okay, hit me. Talk to me through. Just names that come about.
God. I feel like the real answer and the shortest version of this answer,
Okay.
because I think I'll just stumble for a while
That's
if I
fine.
don't just cut this short.
Okay.
And the cheesiest answer is Allison is awesome to smoke with. And the reason is it doesn't affect her. Like, you wouldn't know. If you were around her and she was stoned, you wouldn't know. But what it does to her, she never loves me more than when she's stoned. It's and like we have, we're very cohesive, and it generally works overall. But when she's stoned, whatever I do is the sweetest thing. Whatever I say is the funniest thing. But it's in a subtle way. It's subtle, but like, it's awesome being around her.
You're right. That is an incredible answer.
Okay,
Like,
good.
she's just looking at you like, babe, you are. And you're like, I did nothing.
To the point where I'm like, you need to relax. That was not funny what I just said, but I appreciate you. But
That's
yeah.
amazing. Like, post-fight, you're like, should we smoke a little weed? He's like, Dave, shut the fuck up. Okay, that's a great answer. Okay, Zac Efron said he ended up breaking his hand filming a scene with you where he grabs your penis.
That's true.
Can you please explain how this resulted in injury, Dave?
It's a really good question. I'm trying to remember. It
Okay.
definitely wasn't
Okay.
because my penis was hard.
But it's good to clarify. Do you know what I mean?
I'm trying to remember if I was wearing a cup and he came in just really strong. I think it was a dislocated thumb, to be fair, but it happened. There's a scene where I think we're both grabbing each other's crotches at the same time, and I just think he came in with enough force from the wrong angle, and it's a nice little anecdote now.
It's a beautiful anecdote.
Yeah.
I agree. I think most people would be like, oh, wow, like Dave's just randomly hard on set.
Sure.
I think this was a good moment to clarify.
Yes, because the character, actually, now that I think about it, not to walk through the whole synopsis of Neighbors in this interview, but
a good movie,
he
we can.
grabs my crotch and we're both holding on, like, who's gonna let go first? And then my character, actually, to get him to let go, I have a trick where I go zen and I know how to get hard on cue. So I do get hard in his hand, and that's what makes him let go.
And can you do that in your real life?
No.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, we're moving on. You have had some pretty iconic co-stars over the years.
Yes.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Zac Efron.
Uh-huh.
Jonah Hill.
Okay.
Channing Tatum.
Oh, I don't like this game. Okay, let me just say, first and foremost, I love them all. I genuinely love them all. You guys, I love you. I don't want to kill any of you.
I will even help you with that.
Okay,
you
tell me.
guys, it's a fucking game. He has to kill someone. It's not that deep. We're not saying you love all these people. Just play and have fun. It's a game.
Let's say I'm going to marry Channing.
Oh.
I'm going to fuck. You know what? I'm gonna fuck Jonah.
I am obsessed.
I do not want to kill you, Zach. I really, really don't. I just feel like we've experienced the sexuality together already. I want to try something new.
Like we've already explored that.
I think I saved it.
Perfect. It's literally perfect.
Okay.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by T-Mobile. Have you ever met someone and they're the total package, right? Well, that's what it's like being with T-Mobile. You will not believe what you can get with Magenta Status, Daddy Gang. First off, it's amazing coverage, okay? You're connected wherever life takes you. At home, overseas, in the air, even off the grid. Plus, you get unbeatable value from day one. And that's not even the best part. You can get perks on travel, dining, concerts, streaming, and more. With T-Mobile, you're a member with Magenta Status from day one, Daddy Gang. So experience amazing value, next level connectivity, and access to exclusive benefits. With T-Mobile, you can have it all. No more settling. We do not settle, Daddy Gang. I love having T-Mobile because it means I have access to Wi-Fi on planes, which is without a doubt necessary right now. Even as I'm heading off to a random trip, I'm like, boom, tuning in, boom, thank you, T-Mobile. Plus, with Magenta Status, there are amazing restaurant perks. And when I'm in a new city, I always want to try and just get the best local cuisine. So experience Magenta Status at T-Mobile.com/benefits. Let's talk about your love life.
Okay.
Before you and Allison started dating, can you tell me, like, were you ever getting your heart broken? Were you the one breaking hearts? Like, what were your early relationships like?
The early relationships, like I was saying, it was a lot of sensitivity. It was a lot of, God, I think I am kind of a romantic at heart. I remember this other girl that I was dating in high school for a very short amount of time. Valentine's Day came up, and I decided I was going to come to school early and leave a rose with each one of her teachers, which sounds very sweet, but in hindsight, we just weren't together long enough for me to be doing that. And so I think she might have been a little embarrassed that every class she went to, she was like, okay, here's the rose again in front of everyone. And so I remember seeing her after school and being like, hey, and she was like, thanks for the roses.
Wait, you did it at multiple classes?
All of her classes.
Dave. Dave.
It was coming from a good place, but it was too soon.
Dave.
I know. And I think in other relationships, I'm trying to think, like,
Were you ever cheated on?
it was not 100% confirmed, but there was a moment where things were tough for a bit, and I didn't want to acknowledge it because I was so in love with her. I really thought we were going to get married, and I just had my blinders on. And we were watching a movie at my place, and she fell asleep. And this is the first and only time I've done this, but I did check her phone, and I did it because I knew something was up. And I found texts with her and her ex, and they were from recently, and it was about, like, there was nothing like 100% like this happened, but it was like something about her going over there the previous night and all this stuff. And so I woke her up, and I was like, my heart's beating even thinking about it now. I woke her up, and I showed her her phone. I was like, what is this? And she kind of took a beat, and she said something like that was from a long time ago. And this is how old I am. This is before there was like time codes for text.
You're getting gaslit. You're like, oh.
So I really let her talk me into it because I was so in love with her too, and I just didn't want to believe it. So again, it wasn't confirmed, but I think it happened. And you know what? End of the day, meant to happen. I was meant to be with Allison, and yeah.
Oh my God, that feeling when you see a text and your actual heart is in your butt. And you're like,
my God.
Please no. And it's actually like kind of horrible when they're asleep because you're just sitting there and they're laying next to you and you're like,
yeah. I know.
Who are you, you monster? But it ended up working out.
Definitely.
Did you end it or did she end it eventually?
She did. Oh. I know. I really tried to make it work. I know. I know. It's bad. You learn from these things.
Okay, let's get to now when you meet Allison. You guys did Molly together the first time that you hung out.
This is maybe the anomaly in everything else we've said. This doesn't check out. Yeah.
Okay, so you're right. This is a
But
little
I'll tell you why. I think
Okay.
there's a reason why.
a little out of character.
Yeah.
What's going on, Dave? Do you usually take drugs from strangers?
No.
Okay.
So basically, I was working on a job in New Orleans. She was out there with some friends for Mardi Gras, and one of her friends was and is one of my good friends, and they invited me out to dinner. And I show up at dinner. I was a little bit late. They were already fucked up. I was like trying to catch up, and I'm sitting next to our mutual friend Jules. And Jules shows me that she's been texting with Allison across the table. And basically what she said to Allison was, hey, you should make out with Davey tonight. And Allison's like, sure. And so Jules shows me this, and she's like, do not tell her I showed you these texts. And I was like, cool. So little do I know, the two of them are in the bathroom 10 minutes later. And Jules is like, okay, I showed him the text. He's in. And
So classic of girls.
So she orchestrated this whole thing. And it was kind of amazing because we both went into this night knowing the other one was in. And so at the next bar, Allison comes up to me and she has a beer and she says, okay, I put some Molly in this beer. I think we should share this. I guess I'm seeing a trend in my life of this guy in high school being like, I got this fifth of vodka. I think we should share this. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to do something I would never do before, but yes. And so I really think that might have been the first time I took Molly. Anyway,
I'm obsessed.
so yeah, we, without going into it, we had an insane weekend in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. And,
No, and I think like the
Yeah.
rest was history, right?
exactly. And like, I think we're the only couple, it's been 13 and a half years, the only couple to survive from meeting at Mardi Gras.
Did you feel though, like when you woke up the next morning and you had like a weekend together?
Yeah.
Like, did you guys have to be like, hey, or was it not awkward?
No, it was the opposite. It was like, we still make fun of her a little bit where, like the next morning after this insane Molly weird night, we wake up and she kind of wakes me up with these like gentle little kisses on my shoulder. Like,
Stop.
Yeah, that's how we started the next morning. And it was like, okay, this is the energy we're going into this with.
I love that it's like, let's take some Molly. And then you wake up to just like loving Allison. That's actually nice to not have the scaries the next morning because I feel like there's like a little bit of a come down situation.
Sure. And God, I might be getting this detail wrong, but I was staying in this person's apartment, and I think Allison actually found like women's undergarments somewhere where she was like, oh, okay, he's doing this with other women. This isn't a thing. But that wasn't the case. This was just the person's place. But I think it allowed her to kind of be like, you know what? This is just an easy thing. Let's just like, I'm going to give myself over knowing this can't go anywhere. And
Meanwhile.
and maybe that was part of the charm going into it all, is like, we both, for whatever reason, just gave ourselves over. We were not playing any games. We were just like, we're having fun. I like you. Let's see what happens.
And then literally what you said 13 years later?
13 and a half years later.
Wow.
I know.
Dave, we're going to finish with a game.
Okay.
And I've never played this with anyone.
Oh, wow.
You're the first that we're going to do it with. Okay. So the game is called Confess
Okay.
or Text.
Okay.
Here's how it works.
God.
I am going to ask you a juicy question,
Yeah.
and you can either confess to the question
Okay.
or you're going to choose to send a text.
Mhm.
If you decide to send a text, you're going to draw from two fish bowls.
Jesus
One,
Christ.
you're going to find out who you're texting.
Okay.
Two, you're going to find out what you're texting
Fucking
them.
hell.
Are you ready?
No.
It's going to be good.
Do I get to throw this back at you?
Nope.
This is a one-sided game?
Okay, and so it's either going to be someone harmless like your best friend maybe in that bowl
Sure.
or someone as insane as your ex.
Okay.
First question. What is the shortest amount of time you've ever lasted during sex?
Jesus Christ. I'll answer this.
Yeah.
Short. I mean, we got to start somewhere. Let's say a few pumps.
I love the honesty. Okay, what is your body count?
Jesus Christ. I'll take a text.
Okay, so first take whatever out of one bowl.
Oh.
So first you're going to find out, pull that out.
Okay.
What does it say?
It says your coworker.
Okay, so you're going to text one of your coworkers. Now take that out.
I really need an alibi. Can you send me a text about how fun last night was? Happy to do this.
Who is your coworker?
Okay. I'm gonna do Isla Fisher.
Okay.
She might get back to me quick. Let's see.
He's like shaking.
Jesus. Really need.
Dave's literally like, I feel like my PR team should walk in any moment now.
Send me a text about how fun last night. The thing about Isla is she's gonna be fucking down too.
Really?
She's got me.
I love it. Okay, send that.
Okay.
Good job.
We'll wait to see if she responds.
Okay.
Should I put it on where we can hear a text?
Yes.
Okay, good. Great.
Like, keep that shit open.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the weirdest rumor you've ever heard about yourself?
Oh God. This girl that I was kind of seeing at one point, reaching out and being like, "Hey, what's this all about?" And it was this Photoshop of me and Zach, like, I want to say like at a basketball game where we're like getting like really cozy together. And then there was all these headlines that maybe we were dating. And I think that had some legs too.
Clearly.
Oh,
What?
Isla, 2 messages.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. What did she say?
She goes, "Love seeing you last night, Dave. Thanks for making the effort. It was so nice to see you. Double downing."
That little.
That's my girl. That's my girl.
I'm obsessed.
Ooh, she is behind the scenes right now going, "I can't wait to hear about this."
Yeah, she's like, call me. What's going on?
Holy
Oh, wow.
shit.
That's a fucking homie right there.
I love you, Isla.
Wow.
That's good.
She's got your back. Okay, I'm assuming that you're about to pull another one because here we go. Who is the worst person you've ever had to work with in Hollywood?
Jesus Christ. All right, we're pulling. Okay, your best friend.
Okay.
Excited about anything to send him. Can you Venmo me for the strip club last night? I feel like I can go even harder. Let's see. I just got my STD results back. Let's do that.
Yep. Who's your best friend?
Okay, who I've mentioned a couple times.
Got it.
Chris Mintz Plus.
All right, Chris.
All right.
Get ready.
I just got my STD results back. All right, let's see what he says.
He's going to be like, amazing.
Yeah.
He's going to say? What do you think he's going to say?
He's going to be like, cool, man. What do you got?
That's so real as a best friend, not being like, you're married. What's going on? He's like, oh, awesome. Like, is it chlamydia? Like, what's up? Like, what the fuck? Okay, I can't wait to see. Okay, what is the wildest place you've ever had sex?
Oh God. Something may have happened at one point on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland. And the fucked up part about that is I think there's cameras on every inch of that place, but we were pretty covert. We'll leave it at that.
I am obsessed with you. That, Dave. Thank you.
Has the color of my face changed?
You have like this nice plush, but it's matching your elephants on your shirt.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. What is the weirdest, most niche porn that you've ever searched?
Fucking hell. We're taking one from the bowl. Your partner. That's good.
Perfect.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Can I borrow some pee for a drug test? Let's see if we can do it even better.
Yeah, do a better one. Do a better one.
It's been a week. Do you think Plan B will still work? She'll know it. She'll see through that.
Yep.
Do you still have that sexy nun costume? That's not bad. And we did a nun movie together. Yes.
Boom!
Okay. Can I borrow your tripod sex tape? We used the tripod yesterday. What do you think?
I think you text your agent the tripod one, Jesus. And I think you text your wife.
How are you adding to this?
Okay.
I'll do it to my agent. I'll do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Do it.
And what are you texting your agent?
You tell me. Can I borrow your tripod? Parentheses sex tape.
Perfect.
Okay. Do you want me to text my male or female agent?
Male.
Okay.
Let's just keep this clean.
Okay.
Let's keep this as PC as we can.
Can I borrow your tripod?
Dave, you're such a homie for being down. You're amazing.
Sex tape. Okay, done. TJ Bernardi, you got that coming in?
Now wife.
Okay, wife is getting... if you want to make this sexier for me, so it says, do you still have that sexy nun costume? Do you want to alter that in any way? I'll text her whatever.
What are you feeling? Get a little creative, Dave.
I'm gonna say maybe we try to make it really real and be like, call her daddy. Went fucking great.
I'm on a high.
It kind of inspired me. to try something new, maybe.
Fuck. God.
Do you still? God, she doesn't have. What would she still have? Do we still have that duck costume of mine? Do we still have that duck costume from Halloween? Have that duck costume from Halloween. She's gonna see through this, but there's a small chance she doesn't.
Holy shit.
Okay, Call Her Daddy went fucking great. It kind of inspired me to try something new, maybe. ... Do we still have that duck costume from Halloween?
Boom.
Sent. All right. Oh, wait, someone? No, someone else. Okay.
Holy shit. Dave, I
Ooh.
appreciate you for playing this game.
You know what? Remember, call back. What am I? Oh, TJ Bernardi, my agent.
Shut up. They're quick.
They are quick.
What?
So random. He ha-has it and then says, LFG, let's fucking go.
Like, all right, bro. Let's fucking get weird. Good for you, man. You're getting fucked.
Hold on. Wait.
Oh, no.
There were two texts. I didn't see his first text. It's almost more of a dismissal of, can I borrow your tripod set for a sex tape? He goes, so his client is Kiernan Shipka, who was just cast in a movie that I'm producing. I go, can I borrow your tripod? Sex tape. He goes, Kiernan Shipka, let's fucking go.
No.
Doesn't even care about the sex tape.
Because he's like referring to who you just like booked for your next movie. You're lying. He's not even. Let's fucking go. So his only response is haha double tapping.
That's
He's
it. That was
like
his
whatever.
only-
Anyways,
Yeah.
so you just booked this movie. You just booked this person for a movie. Dave. That's a good agent.
That's a
But isn't
great
it funny?
agent.
I feel that way with my agent sometimes. I will say the most out of pocket shit to them, and they are
Whoa.
literally like, "Oh, Alex." Anyways, like because they almost have to just like ignore.
I know.
Because they have to love you even if you're fucking insane. Because they're like,
I'm beat red right now.
because they're like, let's get that 10%. Woo! Dave, this is good. Okay, now
Ooh.
we're waiting for your wife.
Okay.
Okay, can we go back to what we said at the beginning of the interview about you guys working together?
Yeah.
Because I want to hear a little bit more about why you guys decided to start, because there has to be a moment, right, where you guys were like, okay, should we do something together?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how you guys talked about that and like boundaries.
Sure. I think I feel like it probably started because we're apart from each other so often because of work, and I'm sure it was just like, hey, this is a way for us to be together, and that's valid. But then we quickly realized like we really enjoy doing this, and you know, there's many reasons. Like first off, I genuinely think she's one of the most talented actresses out there, and so when I'm working with her, she makes my job very easy just in a creative sense. And then on top of that, you know, especially in the two circumstances where I directed her, it was so amazing just to have her there with me at the end of the day, where as a director, you know, you're going through so much and it's so easy to get in your head and it's easy to spin out and be like, oh my God, this is terrible. Like, what are we doing? And she was there just to calm me down and be like, everything's going great. And that was invaluable. And like, I don't want to direct anything that she's not in.
That's such an interesting point, and I think highlights how healthy your guys' relationship is, though, because it's one thing, which we're going to get to, that you guys act in something together.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for you to be a director and her be acting, at the end of the day, the director has the call, right? And a lot of times you're giving like pretty pointed notes, or sometimes to actors.
Sure.
Like, how do you think you guys navigated not in a way of you being kind of like having the
I know
upper
what you're
hand as the
saying.
director? You know what I mean?
Yeah. The truth is, it never really felt like that.
Yeah.
It's like we're so in sync in so many ways that like most of the time, if I was coming to give her a note, as I'm walking towards her, she goes, I know, I
Yep.
got it, go back.
Yep,
And
yep.
then I would go back behind the monitors and she would do exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And
Also, and when you're saying that, because I've been now, yes, working also with my
Yeah.
husband, and he is a movie producer,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now we do a lot together. But like, you know the person so well, and you want to win as a team. I think that's
sure.
sometimes what people, again, like, I've worked so hard to have a healthy relationship, and so I can own I've been in unhealthy relationships, and the difference is like, if Matt or I are giving each other advice or like constructive criticism, you're going to deliver it in a similar way that you do in your life of like, it all of it pertains also to work. Like, we're being respectful.
Yes.
You're not feeling like you're better than the other person.
Yes.
You're reading the room. Like, all of that goes into it, right?
And yeah, just to even go further, like there were some crazy days on this new movie where, you know, we are literally attached to each other with prosthetics for the entire day. So we are taking each other to the bathroom. I remember there was a moment where she's going to the bathroom. I'm standing over her, literally attached to her. And we said out loud, we could not have done this with anyone else. And during that day, when we're attached, I was also in the scenes, I was tied to a chair and she is straddling me for 12 hours. And so because there's so much comfortability there, there's so much love there, we could also be kind of surpass politeness with each other and knowing it's not mean, where I could be like, babe, you're fucking killing my legs. Where if it was anyone else, I'd be like, hey, I'm so sorry. Would you mind maybe like lifting your...
Okay, wait, yeah. I want to get a little bit more into the movie together.
Okay, yeah.
How did you both know that you wanted to take on this role?
So I got sent this script, and the basic premise is we play a codependent couple that gets infected with something that makes it so that when we're apart from each other, we start to feel sick. So we need to be near each other at all times, and it starts to slowly escalate to the point where our bodies start to fuse together. And when I read this thing, I was like, I feel like if me and Allison do this together, our real relationship will actually lend itself really well to this relationship in the movie, where when you're watching us, you will hopefully feel the weight of the relationship because the characters in the movie have been together for over a decade. And so this was one where I was like, this feels right for us to do. Yeah.
That is so interesting. Did it make you question, like, not question anything in your relationship, but did you guys ever go home and talk about like codependency and the theme in the movie?
I mean, yes, like, God, it was more just that, of course, we're on set all day and then we go home and we're together just 24 hours during this process. And this makes me honestly more think about something that I want to ask you is like, how are you guys able to turn it off and not talk about work? And are you guys good at that?
It's hard.
Yeah.
We've gotten good at it. And when we are not being good at it, we'll catch ourselves. Cause like, I'm thinking like Matt and I don't spend every day together. Like when we're in the office, like we have two complete separate different offices. I'm running basically a different division than he's running. So like we're really handling different legs of our company, but there are certain days where we are together, whether it's for a photo shoot for our products or whatever it be. And when we get home, I find we have to be so fucking intentional.
Us too.
To be like, okay, we have a couple more work calls and then we're leaving our phones in the kitchen. We're pouring ourselves a glass of whiskey. We're going out to the hot tub.
That's amazing.
And we're talking about personal.
That's amazing.
But it takes, one of us will bring something up in the hot tub. I'm like, no. And we're like, oh my God, I forgot.
Are you guys both good at keeping each other accountable?
Completely. But it took almost like training yourself.
Definitely.
Because if you do let yourself continue to do that, it's not, we love work. And I feel like I'm getting that from you guys, that it's like, it's not a negative.
And that's what it is.
Right? You're obsessed with it. So you're like, it's fun.
I know. And that's what it is.
But it's so good for your relationship to have these two different realms almost that you enter into.
I know.
And so I can imagine when you guys were home, it was probably like, let's go shower and go to a date. Let's go on a date.
For sure.
Like, you've been attached to my leg
I know.
for 40 hours.
I know.
Let's like make it fun and sexy and interesting again and not be work wise. Can you like give fans any heads up, or like, what do you want them to feel going into this movie?
Okay, so what I love about this movie and what our writer-director was able to do is I genuinely think and have heard from people that it works really well for hardcore horror fans. You know, it's got the gore, it's got all that stuff you want, it pushes the limits. But what we've been really kind of surprised and amazed to hear is that some people have been calling it like a gateway horror film for people who don't tend to seek out this genre. And I think part of that is because at the core of this thing, it's about this relationship, and the movie is kind of romantic and it's funny. And our director was able to kind of blend all of those different tones in a really seamless way. And at the end of the day, yes, it is scary in moments, but it's just fun. It's one of these movies where like 25 minutes in, it ramps up to a certain place and then you're just flying till the end. Yeah.
I'm really excited for everyone to see it. And I'm just like, congratulations to you and your wife, because that's just so exciting that you guys got to make this project together. And I can tell you're so passionate about it, which is, again, what we said at the beginning of this interview, why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by White Claw. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're way too hot to be spending the summer sitting inside scrolling on your phone. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop letting plans die out in the group chat. Grab a White Claw and go make some memories, okay? Whether you're yapping poolside, hitting a barbecue, or just kicking back around a fire, a cold White Claw goes perfectly with your summer plans. That's right, Daddy Gang. It is White Claw summer. 100 calories in 12 glorious ounces, gluten-free, and the taste you know and love. I like to pick up a variety pack so that I can guarantee everyone can get their favorite flavors. I am personally through and through always a black cherry girl, but Matt loves the mango and Lauren's favorite is lime. So there's truly something for everyone. It's time to come out of hibernation and stop leaving everyone on red. We're finding a guy with a boat and we're having a damn drink. My friends and I strictly drank White Claw for an entire girls trip last year. And now I can't even smell sunscreen without being reminded of that trip. It was honestly the best time ever. There is nothing better than warm sun, a tiny bikini, tiny bikini, and an ice cold claw in your hand. That is peak life. Pick up a pack from your favorite local spa and grab life by the claw with your favorite flavor this summer. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer works. Chicago, Illinois. Thank you so much for coming on Call Her Daddy. I had so much fun. What is that?
Oh, yeah. I brought a gift for you and Matt.
Oh, my God. He's literally knocking this fucking interview out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
Your PR people are like, fuck yes, let's go. What? Should I open it now?
Please.
Okay.
You might hate it, but I hope you like it.
I know you didn't wrap this.
I definitely did not.
I was about to say, that bow is perfect.
No.
Oh,
text from my best friend, Chris, before you open.
Go. No.
It's perfect.
No.
It's perfect.
What did he say?
So I said, I just got my STD results back, ... He says, you herped up?
No!
Oh my God. I love that all these people in my life just roll with it. There is no questioning. That's very sweet in a way. It's very kind.
You herped up.
Herp apostrophe D.
Chris is so fucking
Chris.
good.
We fucking love Chris. God damn.
Dude.
Okay, Allison just texted. Hold on.
Let's take a minute.
Okay, she texted one thing and she's following up. We see the 3 dots. Hold on.
Okay. Allison.
God, I'm so proud of everyone for getting back so quickly.
That was my biggest fear. I want to do it at the top.
Okay, here we go. I gotta read it first. Hold on. Holy shit.
No.
Everyone knocked it out of the park.
No.
Okay, she goes, so what I said is, just as a reminder, Call Her Daddy went fucking great. It kind of inspired me to try something new maybe. Do we still have that duck costume from Halloween? She goes, first text, what?
How many ums?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 question marks, exclamation point, and 3 emojis of laughing face, slanted laughing face. And then she follows it up with, in a very earnest way, I don't think we have that duck costume still, but I'm sure we could order one, ... I fucking love my wife.
What is this duck costume? What does it even look like? Is there any sex appeal?
The duck costume's actually in the movie together. She's looking through old photos of us and I'm wearing it.
You're If there has never been a better promo fucking moment for the goddamn movie, boom, look at that.
Oh my God.
Dave?
God, I love everyone in my life.
Dude.
See, this is my core bubble I'm talking about. These very kind people I love and trust, and I don't want to introduce negative people into my life.
Dude, I'm so obsessed that you're like, wow, that interview was so transformative. Mostly because of that game I played at the end. I love the people in my life. God, we have meanwhile, you're like,
It's a nice
can we fuck in
takeaway.
this duck costume? I have an STD. I want your tripod to fuck. And all of your friends are coming up strong. That is fucking epic. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being a good sport.
This all might they all might tie in together where like, God, are we gonna fucking record ourselves fucking in the duck costume and it's gonna get leaked and Isla's gonna fucking have my back and it's just like, that's not me in the duck costume. I was with Isla last night. I wasn't fucking my wife.
And then somehow you get an STD.
Exactly.
But don't worry, we got Kiernan. Like, what?
Kiernan, let's fucking go. I actually am very excited about Kiernan in the movie, so let's fucking go.
Holy shit.
Okay, open the present.
Okay,
open the present.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
What the fuck is this interview?
All right, hold it up, and yeah, stretch it out.
Wait, what?
Okay, turn it around. Wait. It's a together double hoodie. It's a single hoodie with two heads coming out.
Steve, I'm gonna make my husband get in this and I'm gonna DM you this photo of us together. Together forever, Matt. Don't fucking forget it, bitch. Dude, this is the weirdest fucking gift I've ever been given in my life. How are you guys selling this as
Eventually.
This is gonna be people's Halloween costumes.
There you go.
This is so good.
Okay.
Thank you for this.
We gotta end it before it gets too weird.
Dave Franco, we're done.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming on Call Her Daddy. It was truly a fucking pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
It's a bop.
Thanks.
Like, it's giving me old Demi vibes. Like,
Yes.
Oh
I love that you know old Demi.
my
vibes.
God. Are you kidding me? Did you forget? Do you know how many times
Thank
I've
you.
cried over that in my bedroom? Like,
Oh my
I would, but like in a
God.
good way, like
Yes.
therapeutic. And I'd be like, Demi's with me. Are you kidding?
If we repeat some of this, just pretend like it didn't
I
happen
know,
before,
no,
because
we
this is
will.
all
We are.
great.
Yeah, we need to stop. Are we
So
ready,
excited.
guys?
Let's get started.
What is up, Daddy Gang? It is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy.
Demi Lovato, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you.
It is such an honor to have you here. And I want to say it's a big deal you're here for many reasons.
Oh my God, thank you.
Of course. But I've had sometimes people like come on if they're like a fan of the show. But you are the first person I have ever had on Call Her Daddy whose mom is a fan
Yes.
of Call Her Daddy. Shout out Demi's mom.
Yes, my mom loves this podcast, and she was like, "You have to say hi." I was like, "Of course."
We are recording this
Yes.
just before your 30th birthday.
Yes.
Leo season. What does turning 30 mean to you?
Turning 30, what it means to me is like, to be honest, I've had a little anxiety. My 20s were like such a mess. Like I was trying to figure myself out. I didn't know who I was. A lot of shit happened. And then I kind of like over the past couple years have eased into who I am. And then this year I'm like, oh, I know who I am. So turning 30 to me has been like, I'm excited for my 30s and what that holds.
I love that. And I really want to normalize that because I feel like there's such pressure in society of like, when you hit 30, like figure it out. And it's like, what the fuck? No,
Yeah.
20s are meant to do all the fuck ups. And
Yes.
then 30s is when it's like, let me come into my own and really figure myself
Yes,
out. So
exactly.
I love that.
Thank you.
In our hectic, fast-paced lives, we could use some slowing down. Haagen-Dazs is made to be savored and enjoyed slowly. Introducing new Haagen-Dazs Belgian waffle cones, a completely new experience that's worth slowing down for. Daddy Gang, you've never had cones like this before, okay? They'll take crunch to a whole new level. Each crispy waffle cone is filled with the velvety smooth ice cream that Haagen-Dazs is known and loved for. Then it's finished with delicious toppings and a decadent bite of sauce waiting for you at the bottom of the cone, okay? Haagen-Dazs Belgian waffle cones come in 4 delicious flavors: vanilla salted caramel, summer berry, triple chocolate fudge, and toasted almond fudge. boom, sign me up. You guys know that I have the most hectic days at the office. So when I get home, I love to grab a little treat, toss my phone away, and take a minute to myself. These cones are a must-have in my freezer. I'm obsessed with the summer berry flavor. It's fruity and it's sweet. And seriously, it always hits the spot. It's the perfect way to end a long, 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 stressful day. Ice cream just always hits the spot for me. And these Haagen-Dazs cones are truly the perfect treat. Savor your moment of slow with new Haagen-Dazs Belgian waffle cones available at retailers nationwide. You were one of the voices of our generation. I started listening to your music in middle school, crying up against the window. Did you forget?
Yes!
Like fully singing all my heartbreaks. I'm like curled up with Demi. I feel like I already know you. Like truly, it's been a roller coaster. I feel like I've literally known you for so long, and I still love your fucking music.
Oh, thank you.
Were you always a natural performer?
I think that performer, no, I wasn't always a natural performer. I had some like adjusting that I had to do over time. I started performing on tour with the Jonas Brothers when I was 15. And I went from my first show in June of like 2008. It had like 100 people, to July, my first show with the Jonas Brothers was 18,000 people. So I had to like learn how to perform on these massive stages. And it was super intimidating. I was so nervous, but like I figured it out and I found my groove. But I have always been a vocalist. Like, you know, singing has always come natural to me. My first time singing on stage was when I was like 5 and at my talent show in kindergarten.
What did you sing?
Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On. Which is like one of the hardest songs to sing, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tackle that.
I was just about to say Demi. I'm like thinking like, ooh, like maybe like a pop song. She's like Celine Dion. Like what's that? I'm like, Demi, you just go right for the most iconic singer, hardest song to sing, like classic. Okay, so someone had a little confidence back then. There you go. I love that.
Yeah. And my mom, like, also, I was raised with like Aretha Franklin and vocalists like that. And then when I started learning vocalists that were in the era of when I was growing up, it was Christina Aguilera and Kelly Clarkson, and those were the singers that I gravitated to because they did things with their voices that I couldn't, and I wanted to learn how. So I made it my mission and was like, whoever is really, really talented, I want to do what they do. And so I just sang and sang and sang my little heart out until I could hit the same notes as them.
And then you eventually absolutely got there.
Thanks.
So for someone watching this, kind of going back to your childhood a little bit.
Yeah.
To kind of paint the picture, you're growing up and your parents split when you were really young. Mm-hmm. Did your biological dad have any input when you began working as a kid?
No. So my biological dad, he was mentally ill and had a lot of addiction problems. And so he wasn't really in my life at all. I mean, I was the one that would reach out and call him, but like he was really sick mentally. And so over the years, I slowly stopped reaching out and calling him because he was so sick. It was hard to have conversations with him. He was schizophrenic and he had delusions. And so our conversations went from, how are you? I miss you, to I'm doing a movie with Steven Spielberg and Jodie Foster's my girlfriend. And I'm like, okay, we like can't talk anymore. And so I guarded myself from that relationship, and he didn't have a say, but he was proud. He was really proud. When I would talk to him, he was really proud.
And there was a lot to be proud for. Technically, your start in the business was you started in pageants, right?
Yes, I started in beauty pageants when I was 7. And my first like big win was Mini Miss Texas. Yeah, that was my introduction. And then from there, I got an acting coach and I started doing acting.
In your documentary, Simply Complicated, your mom, who was a former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, she acknowledges her emphasis on being skinny and being perfect affected you.
Yeah.
How did your mom's opinion about herself affect your opinion about yourself?
Well, look, my mom had an eating disorder. And so naturally, someone that's in their eating disorder who isn't aware of it can pass on things to their child. And so I put a lot of pressure on myself and the beauty pageants to look a certain way. I mean, I'm going to go on the record here and say, like, beauty pageants are awful for children's self-esteem, and like they teach you to ignore your emotions until you go to your hotel room, and that's when you can cry it out. And it was this toxic environment of like who's more beautiful and things like that, and at such a young age it confuses you. And so over the years I developed my own eating disorder, and that bled into my career as well.
When you're performing, you have to be okay. You got to go up there, you got to put a smile on your face, got to make everyone else feel great. But that's not how you felt on the inside. What do you remember depression feeling like as a 7-year-old?
As a 7-year-old, when my depression started to kick in, it was more of like this fascination of death. And for some reason, I had this like understanding that life was only going to get more difficult. And so I had suicidal ideations from age of 7. So much so that like my school called my parents, and they had me sign like this contract saying that I wouldn't do anything to myself. And so I entered therapy and guidance counseling at the school at 7 years old. And you know, it's something that I still deal with occasionally, and I just think it's a part of, it's just something that I've learned to accept and manage.
Yeah. When your parents got that call and you got into therapy, was there like regular check-ins? And because you were working also at the time at a young age, like was there a regimen of like checking in on Demi and making sure she was okay?
I was so young that I don't really remember. And I remember the person that actually saw the contract was my great grandmother, because I went to her house afterwards, and she was like, well, please don't do that. Like, are you okay? And so, yeah, there's probably check-ins, but I don't really remember them because I was so young.
What was your peer dynamic when you were in school?
My peer dynamic when I was in school was difficult. You know, I was thrown from being on Barney, where I homeschooled for like a year. Then I went back to school, and I'd actually learned more when I was homeschooling, to where like when I went back to school, I was like helping her show the class, like, this is what I've learned and blah, 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 blah. But when I went back to school, you know, there was a lot of drama. There was a lot of, it was the 6th grade, 7th grade drama. That's the worst. It's the absolute worst with preteen girls. They're just mean.
That age is when like I personally know like bullying started for me. Like that is the worst fucking age. That's when it all goes down. What were you bullied for?
So there was this whole incident where the main week that I was bullied, I had actually gotten the opportunity. I was already performing at like, you know, USO bases and like little car dealerships here and there that would have like festivals and whatever. I had the opportunity to open for JoJo, the singer. And this was when Get Out Leave was like on top of the charts. And as a preteen, we're all like, go JoJo, because she's our age, right?
Absolutely.
So anyways, I had the opportunity to open for her, and I invited one of the girls that was in my clique of friends, and I got the opportunity to go backstage and meet her after I opened for her, and the other girl didn't. And I used her camera. It was like this disposable camera. And when I got back to school, she gave me all the pictures from the show, but the one of me and JoJo was missing. And I was like, where did that one go? And she was like, oh, it just didn't develop. And I was like, bitch, like I know that it developed and you're just salty about it. Right. So that week turned into like hell for me. And all of a sudden there was drama around that, the picture not showing up, but then people took sides. And I remember it was like Mean Girls, like walking into the cafeteria where like the popular girls hated me. Anybody that wanted to be popular hated me. The popular guys hated me, and they have all the power in school. And at one point I was like hiding in a bathroom, and I called my mom, and I was like, I need to get out of here. They signed a suicide petition. They passed it around and got people to sign it, saying, if you we want Demi to kill herself. And it was awful. And so and they said some other mean stuff in there that like was just really hurtful. And so I ended up leaving and homeschooling, and it was a blessing in disguise because it gave me motivation to keep going, and it also gave me all this free time after I did my schoolwork to practice music for 3-4 hours a day. And I did that for years.
You were kind of getting bullied, I think, because you were having success, right? Like you were kind of starting to make it. People were jealous. At that age, they're super insecure. We all know how that goes. But do you think you then leaned into your craft because it was kind of like your escape from what you'd been going through?
I leaned into my craft, but I also leaned into my eating disorder, because the reasons that they gave me for bullying, where they were like, you're a slut, you're a whore. Meanwhile, I'm 12 and I've only had my first kiss. And they were like, and you're fat. And they started calling the house saying they were from Jenny Craig and they wanted Demi. And so I was like, well, I guess that's their reason for me being hated so much. I guess it's because I'm fat. And I developed an eating disorder at 12. And it was really hard. But yes, at the same time, I used it as motivation. Like, I'm going to make my name so in your face that you can never escape me again. And it felt really good when that finally came true.
So you make it to Disney Channel.
Yes.
Which I was saying is basically winning an Oscar as a child. Like at
Totally.
that age, are you kidding? Let's watch a Disney Channel movie. I'm like, okay, like can you tell I've literally watched all of it?
I did too. I did too.
Everything. To paint the picture, like who was also acting on Disney around that same time as you?
It was the golden era of Disney. I mean, there was one golden era where it was like Raven and Hilary Duff, and then it like moved into this other golden era where it was like Hannah Montana had just started like a year or so before. High School Musical had just happened. Selena was on Wizards, and I auditioned for the Jonas Brothers TV show. And I was up for the role of their like female best friend or whatever. And I remember I didn't get it, and I was crushed. I was heartbroken. But Disney was like, but we want to see you for these other 2 projects. And I was like, okay. Like I had taken the hardest no in my life, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to go audition again, but I will. Mm-hmm. So I did. I went and auditioned, and I ended up booking them both. One was Sunny with a Chance and one was Camp Rock. So like that for me was like, I get my own movie and my own TV show. Are you kidding? Like on Disney Channel. And I knew my life was about to change.
Was there competition amongst the big actors on Disney?
Even though I'm a competitive person, I really like quieted that voice, because I was like, it's not worth it. We all have our own talents. And that's why I'm not jealous of any artist today, is because like we all have our own lanes, and someone has to fill my lane, you know?
As like a young girl watching those shows, I was always like, Demi seems like she would, like, I could be friends with her. Look at me,
thank you.
Like eating my hair in my room, being like, I could be friends with Demi.
Eating my hair, literally. The most perfect hair, by the way. We've already had this conversation.
But it is funny because you really gave that vibe of like relatable and like someone that you could be friends with.
It was the bangs. The Camp Rock bangs. It was the bangs.
It was the bangs, and you brought the bangs back today. Okay. What pieces of your personal life did Disney have a say on once you started working with them?
Whew. So there were expectations on you to be a role model, because all of a sudden you're thrust into that position whether you want to be or not. Like you're on shows that kids are watching. You can't be seen at a party with a red cup in your hand because it looks like it could be alcohol. And people online, like there was this website called Ocean Up, and Ocean Up would just like take all scandalous things that were happening to Disney actors and put it on there. And so we lived in fear of that website. It wasn't really ever Disney saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. But if something happened, there would be conversations. And I will say that like that pressure of you're replaceable was always there, not necessarily ever said by Disney, but they didn't have to, because it was like Disney is the hottest thing for teenagers to be on. And there are millions of kids that want to be in your place. And so you have to be on your best behavior, or else you know, there's the next girl in line that could book the movie that you're supposed to be in. What people don't know is that the amount of work we had to do. Every year I filmed a season of a TV show, I went on tour, I made an album, and I shot a movie. And I did that for like 3 or 4 years. I think it was 3. But if I had a hiatus from my show, I would have the tour bus pull up to the studio and take me on tour for 1 week. Or I would fly to London to do promo. And I remember one day I woke up, I was so tired and like just drained from how much work I was doing as a 16-year-old. I woke up and I just started crying. And my mom was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I'm so tired." And then she started crying too. She was like, "Me too." And it was like this sad, kind of hilarious moment. And we were like, okay, put ourselves together. We got to do this. And so there was this extreme workload that I think put a lot of pressure on us. And that's why some of us I personally turned to, if you're going to work me like an adult, I'm going to party like an adult. And that at 16, 17 wasn't healthy at all.
When you had that moment with your mom, do you wonder if she ever thought to be like, hey, like, you don't have to, you know?
I think my parents were also under the, impression that someone will take your place if you don't commit to this stuff. And so I'd sit down with my management and my dad and we'd go over the schedule. And the thing was I was also bipolar. And I was unmedicated. So there would be times where I'd have this like all this energy and I'd look at my schedule and be like, I can do that. Plus this is the cover of Cosmo. Like I want to do that. It's cover of 17. Like I want to do that. I didn't want to miss anything. I had like major FOMO if I did. So I just kept on pushing. But then by the time it would get there, I'd fall into like a depression and it'd be really hard to work.
At that age, technically at 16, you are the thing that's making all the money for all the people around you. And if you stop, it all ends.
And also at a certain point, I was paying for the roof over my whole family's head. And my dad had quit his job to become my manager. So his income was coming from me. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, wasn't reliant on, kind of was, but it was just that pressure of like, I'm paying for everything and like, I need to keep going because if things start to disappear, so does the finances.
So you reference, if I'm going to be treated like an adult, I'm going to party like an adult.
Yes.
At what point in your Disney career did you begin experimenting with drugs?
So I started experimenting for the first time when I was 12. 13, I got into a car accident and they prescribed me opiates. And my mom didn't think that she'd have to like lock up the opiates from her 13-year-old daughter, but like I was already drinking at that point. I was, had been bullied, was looking for an escape. And when my mom saw how many of the pills had disappeared and how fast they did, she took them away, locked them up. But yeah, I drank a lot in my teenage years. And then it wasn't till I was about 17 that I started, that's not even true. Like there were times where I'd get certain kinds of pills throughout like 15, 16. I'd steal my mom's Xanax. She had a Xanax addiction. And like, so it was off and on. And then at 17 is when it kind of was the first time like I tried Coke and like loved it too much. And then that kind of bled into me going to treatment like right after I turned 18.
When you were drinking, were you drinking alone or were you going out places?
My first time drinking, I was alone. And that was like, should have been a major red flag. I like stole beer from my dad in the fridge, my stepdad, and like took it to my room and drank like 4 beers just to see what it was like to feel drunk. And like, I was like a little 90-pound, girl. So that was a lot. And then it started being with like friends and it wasn't ever alone after that, but that was my first time.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. Did you know that 3 in 5 women feel pressured to accept the first job offer they get? Daddy Gang, as a qualified candidate, you have way more power than you think. Before you say yes, please make sure it's in line with what you want. Will there be work-life balance, career growth? Are you being paid what you're worth? You deserve an amazing job where you are valued, and that is why you need to use ZipRecruiter. If you're ready to find that next role that meets your needs, go to ZipRecruiter.com/CHD to get started. ZipRecruiter matches you with relevant jobs in minutes, and you can apply to most of them with just one click. Hate waiting. Most applications on ZipRecruiter are viewed right away within 48 hours based on their recent data. I love that the majority of jobs on ZipRecruiter include salary and benefits info. That is so important when considering what job you'll choose to take. You deserve to be in a role where you're happy, fairly paid, and genuinely excited to grow. So use ZipRecruiter and find a job that's a hell yes. Go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/CHD right now to start finding jobs you love. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/CHD. When you're kind of at this age where you start to kind of experiment, you're drinking and everything, did not only your parents, but like management and publicists and did people know you were drinking and doing drugs?
When it came to management's attention that I had been doing pills, they definitely were like, this can't happen, and like, what's going on, and do we need to get you help? And I was really good at convincing people like, no, it was just like, you know, I had a hard time sleeping and blah, 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 or I'd make up excuses. And finally, when it got to a point where it was clear that I needed help and I needed to go away, everyone was really supportive of it because it had been like kind of a long time coming.
So thinking about the whole Disney era, there was a major wave of purity ring wearing. Okay. I can't say it with a straight face, okay?
Yes.
Debbie's like, holy fuck. Oh, no pun intended.
Yes.
No pun intended. Yes. There was a huge wave of purity ring wearing amongst Disney stars.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck was that about?
So I think it was just my purity. I had a purity ring that came from my church, like way before Disney Channel even happened. I was like 11 or 12. And like, obviously that shouldn't have even been implemented on 11 or 12-year-olds. But I was like, okay, like I'll do this, whatever. That quickly went out the window at a certain point. And then I left the others to have their purity adventures on their own. But I mean, to each their own. I don't know. It was an interesting thing to come out publicly and say.
It really was, because I remember being that age and like I should have been apparently wearing one because I was like Catholic at the time. God, I'm getting like burned. But I'm like, why are people wearing these things? And it was such an interesting, it almost at the time when I look back on it really felt like the Disney kids like were getting older, and it felt like a way to like really cement like, no, we're really good kids and we don't do anything bad. And it's like, look at my finger, like, oh, they wear a purity ring.
Right. I don't know. Like I had one and I think I talked about it like once, but like, and it caught a little bit of fire, but definitely not as much as the other people wearing them. And I quickly hushed about that when I started having sex, because I was like, oops.
I lost it. I don't know where it went.
It broke. I think it actually literally broke because it was so cheap. And then I was like, well, that's my sign. Here we go.
Have you ever sat down and discussed the challenges of being inside this Disney machine with people like Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus, the Jonas Brothers?
I think over the years, like we talked about it for sure, but I do have a project in the works where I want to talk to some of those people about their experiences and other child stars as well.
Kind of like we were talking about earlier, there were all these systems in place in your life. Everyone, they're taking care of your career with you. And then well into adulthood, your personal life was also being controlled by people that were managing your career. Mm-hmm. Demi, in what ways was your team controlling your life?
There was someone that came into the picture and when they came into the picture, everything in my life was controlled. I started having a sober companion, which was helpful for me, but it should not have lasted 3 years. And then it became controlling around my food. And for someone in recovery from an eating disorder, that's so dangerous. It actually exacerbated my eating disorder to the point where I became bulimic again. From 2016 to 2018, I was dealing with that. And we're talking like, I've never talked about this before, but there was one time where I had binged and purged one night, and I came clean to my team and said, hey, this happened. You know, I snuck out of my hotel room because they didn't let me have phones in my hotel rooms because they didn't want me to call room service. I didn't have food in my hotel room, like snacks in the mini bar, because they didn't want me to eat the snacks. Ellen talked about this on her show where they cleared the dressing room of like all sugar before I would get in there. She was like, I remember that. And they, after I told them what had happened, my security guard walked by my room or was made aware that they like barricaded me into my hotel room. They put furniture outside of my door so that I couldn't get out and sneak out and eat if I wanted to. And so it was that level of controlling when it came to my food, which just made my eating disorder worse. One time I said, I'm throwing up blood. I need to go to treatment. I need to get help. And this was in like 2017. And this person looked at me and said, you're not sick enough. And I think that was his way of saying like, no, you're not going back to treatment because if you do, this will look bad on me. And so I didn't go back into treatment. And less than a year later, I ended up overdosing. And so I think it was just like I felt trapped. I felt like I couldn't get out of this situation. And my way of like blowing everything up was relapsing on drugs and alcohol. Because they always said if you use, we're out. And I was like, all right, time to get out. Bye. I've learned a lot from that experience. Like no one can control me anymore. And I was under the control from 18 to 25. And those are years where you're trying to figure out your adulthood. You know, you're no longer a teenager, but for some reason I had people controlling everything I ate. You know, my business decisions were always being made for me. And now I've found my voice. No one can ever do that to me again. And I feel empowered by what I went through because I had to grow and I had to learn to accept that I'm my own boss.
Just to clarify, when you're referencing this person is basically trying to keep you from eating, it's for the image to make sure you look thin.
Yeah.
Which helps their career
Yeah.
and their income. Can you talk a little bit about mentally why it's so hard to push away from people that get their claws in you in that position?
Yeah, absolutely. I would even go so far as to say like there was a brainwashing element to it where you were totally under the impression that if I don't listen to this person who knows so much about recovery, I'm going to lose everything. And so you put all of your trust and your faith into one person. And then from that, everyone around me listens to that one person and they go with it. You know, if this person says this is what it is and this is how it should be, then we listen to them. And then it became, it got to the point where like if they didn't like a chef that I had, they would sit me down and say like, we don't like the chef that you have. We think that you should try someone else. And so I would say, okay. Like I just put all of my trust and faith into, into people around me that I think didn't have my best interest at heart. The reason why they didn't like that chef that I had was because the chef told me, they said they read your bank statements to see what you order at Starbucks to make sure you're not getting like cookies or pastries or things like that. And when I found that out, I told them, and then they were like, we don't like your chef. And I was like, oh, you realize that she's the one that told me.
Hearing you talk about this, it does sound not like a version of what Britney Spears went through.
Right.
Like the controlling and the yeah, the micromanaging to the point where you don't even have control over your own life.
Right.
I can't imagine how alone you felt when you said, like, they had said if I used, then they were gone, and then I used. And in a way, it was almost like your cry for help of, like, get the fuck away from me. A lot of people don't understand this side of the world. And I think that's why I love having you on right now, because we get headlines. E-News says something about, and it's like we don't understand what you as a human being are going through, and people are so ruthless to quickly make a judgment of like, oh, well, she's got all the money in the world, so her well, and it's like, listen to what you're saying right now. Like, this is a nightmare.
Right. And I couldn't talk about it. I felt trapped. And, you know, I don't know how many people have gone through that situation, but it is really sad.
In a Bustle article, you asked the question, what do I want my relationship with my manager to look like without enmeshing my own father issues onto him? What did you mean by that? How were your father issues affecting your relationship with your manager?
I had such interesting relationships with my dads, and the abandonment issue from my birth father was so deeply rooted inside of me that when it came to management, like I placed that fatherly figure role onto him and onto this other person that I have mentioned. And so when looking for a new manager, I wanted to find someone that I don't place that fatherly figure role onto, and that it's just business.
In your documentary, Dancing with the Devil,
Yes.
you reveal your virginity was taken from you.
Yeah.
You were raped. Is it possible to heal from an experience like that?
I think in a way time can heal wounds, maybe not all of them. The more time that has gone by, the easier it has gotten. But there's still a sadness, a deep sadness inside of me that someone took that from me at such a young age. And it was hard because this person was also around, like they were also on Disney. And so seeing them around was difficult, and it really messed up my my teenage years. And finally I went and got help for that, and it's been something that I've worked on. But you know, I've had other traumas happen, and it kind of pushes those to the side a little bit. But there are moments where I definitely will cry and just feel the sadness inside of me, because, you know, that's healthy to do. Rather than bottle it up, I just will allow myself to have those moments of like, that was really sad what happened to you, and you're a fighter. Like, you can get through it.
I mean, I can't imagine at that young of an age having to still have someone be on Disney and having to see someone that did that to you. I mean, you are a survivor.
Thank you. And to be clear, like, it wasn't anyone in the immediate Disney circle, you know? Like, I've had people ask, you know, questions of like, was it this person or was it that person? And it was like, I don't think it'd be anybody that anyone would guess, but they were friends with someone on set, and they'd come around and yeah.
So many people, especially young women, listen to my podcast that have been sexually assaulted. Yeah. And it's complicated if you've never been through it. How do you give someone advice on that, right? And so where have you generated the strength to keep going through trauma?
I think that I've just had a lot of trauma in my life, and there's a persistence, a determination inside of me. And I think I learned that from like the bullying experience of like, you can turn this around and make it into something great. And I'm not saying that I've turned sexual assault into anything great, but you know, I've written about it in music. I've healed from it, and it's just made me stronger.
You are so fucking strong, and it is written all over your new album.
Thank you.
I was listening to it in my car. I feel like that's also the best place to listen to new music, when you're like,
it's the best.
The best.
Yeah.
The best. You're like by yourself, you're listening, and you're just like, so First of all, I just want to say I'm a huge fan of your new album.
Thank you.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck is the album. And also, holy fuck, it's so fucking good.
Thank you.
Demi, I need to know, how does this album reflect where you are in your life right now?
Whew, this album. It reflects this album, like, actually there's a journey to it. So like in the beginning of the album, you can hear my anger. You can hear, like, I left treatment in December this last year, getting help again, and I'm sober again, and I feel great. But like there was all these emotions that I left treatment with, and I wanted to convey them in my music. And so the first few songs are like really angry, and it's like, this is who I am, take it or leave it. I know what you're saying about me online. Like, Demi leaves rehab again. Like, I see you, I hear you. And then as I started to heal, I was like, you know what, I'm actually like getting happier. And I was owning my sexuality in a lot of the songs. And then my album became like, so it was like angry, then like sex, and then like love songs.
Your songs are incredibly personal, and you always give insight into your life, and I feel like that's why your fans are obsessed with you. It's because you're like, you put it all out there, and that's why we love Demi Lovato. It's like and I appreciate that, because you know sometimes we don't get a lot from people, and you're like, this is me. This is me. This is me. But oh my God, everyone's like, stop, Alex. But I appreciate that. And in the tone of one of the songs, like, you are fucking fighting, and you're like, I have something to say, and I'm going to address it as I always address my journey.
Yes.
And I always talk about what the fuck I'm going through. And so why would this be any fucking different on this album? The song 29.
Yes.
What inspired you to write this song?
I went to treatment after turning 29. I did a lot of work on myself. And I had this realization when I turned 29 that I came out of treatment with anger. I came out of treatment with understanding and growth. And so it was like a reflective song for me. And even though there's undertones of anger, it was like I really learned a lot about that experience, and I decided to write about it.
To anyone that hasn't listened to the song, you need to go listen to it. Just a couple of the lines to give them a too young to drink wine, just 5 years a bleeder, student and a teacher, far from innocent, what the fuck is consent? Numbers told you not to, but that didn't stop you. Now I'm finally 29. Funny, just like you were at the time. What do you hope people take away from these lyrics?
If you're a young girl and you think that it's sexy or fun to date older men, it's not okay unless you're of age. It's portrayed as like, oh, you scored someone older, that's cool. And it's like, actually, that's weird. So it's just like a reflective moment of like, if you are in that situation, just listen to this song and like kind of think about it.
How did you decide to release it as a single?
Well, it was hard. It was really hard for me to release this as a single because it's so emotional for me and so personal. But I think sometimes the public needs the truth. And that's why I decided to release it as a single, because I think the message is so important.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Hidden Valley Ranch. Hidden Valley Ranch now comes in a new easy squeeze bottle. The same ranch you love, just in a new, easier to use bottle. New bottle, same great flavor. Hidden Valley Ranch is the original ranch, the brand that created ranch in 1954. Recently, Hidden Valley Ranch changed its packaging, moving from the iconic paddle bottle to a new easy squeeze bottle. Okay, the new bottle offers a lot of benefits, including making it easier to just get the right amount of ranch out without making a mess, and helping you get out every drop. Hidden Valley Ranch is America's #1 ranch. Visit walmart.com/Hidden Valley to find Hidden Valley Ranch in the easy squeeze bottle. Hidden Valley Ranch, only serious about flavor. I love you, Hidden Valley Ranch. Thank you for that. What is your favorite song on the album to have sex to?
First
I was saying favorite.
First of all, I don't have sex to my own music.
Demi, come on. I'll have sex to your music.
Go for it. Go for it. I would feel weird about it.
If you had to.
If I had to.
Or to people listening, which song should they fuck to?
Well, it depends. If you're trying to be like
sensual,
listen to Come Together. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to like
bang it out.
You know what? If you're trying to bang it out, listen to Bones. Bones is like, it's like, I want to jump your bones. That's the hook.
We are not in Disneyland anymore, guys.
No,
Disney Channel is dead. Yes. Demi fucking Lovato, you are fucking back with a vengeance. I'm obsessed. Speaking of sex, Demi, you gotta give us a little tea. Are you dating anyone?
I'm dating somebody.
Look at that grin. Okay, we don't need like too many deets, but like, how's it going? Like, what's the vibe?
It's going really well.
It's going well.
Yeah. Can I say that?
It's your life,
okay.
bitch.
Yeah, it's my life. It's
no
my
more
life.
looking at your team.
Yeah,
it's your fucking life.
It's my life. Yeah. It's going really well. Yeah.
Okay, when you're dating someone, what is the most important thing you look for in a partner?
I have to laugh. Like I've dated people that were beautiful or, sexy, and it's like, I still am like that. The person I'm dating is so hot and so sexy, and I am obsessed. But like, the most important thing is like, eventually over time, we grow old and looks fade and things like that. Like, you have to find someone that completely understands you, but most importantly to me, makes me laugh.
I'm like so happy for you because I can tell it's like fresh and it's great because you are fully blushing. You're like, stop! No! Demi knew you. We don't fucking ask for permission. What do you want to say? What do you want to say? We're not saying names here unless you want to say his name. Okay, you're gonna go on tour, right?
Yes. So excited.
Is it hard to date while you're on tour?
I found that it's actually kind of easy if you make sure that you see each other like once every 2-3 weeks.
Okay, fun.
It's important and it's also FaceTime. Like, FaceTime is really helpful. And I'm sure like it's like, I think what's gonna suck is being away from the person that you're dating, but like, ultimately it kind of builds anticipation too for when you do see them, and it's like so exciting,
so exciting. And I think it's also the test of like, if you can make it through that,
yes, like
that's a great strength building core exercise. What the fuck am I saying? Okay, when you go on tour, what are you looking like most forward to when you're going on this upcoming tour?
Rocking out, because I did the pop music and kind of R&B pop, which was fun, but also at the same time I felt like it wasn't me. Like, I was trying too hard to be sexy, and I was in the little leotards and the stiletto heels, and I wasn't comfortable. And so I want to be comfortable on the stage, and I will be, and I can just completely be myself, which is going to be so exciting.
Will we be seeing like a little old Demi music vibe also on tour?
Old music, yes. You will definitely be, because it matches the sound. And I've also, which is the most exciting, I've also turned like my hits into the style of music that I'm doing today. So like, Cool for the Summer sounds totally different. Heart Attack sounds totally different. Confident sounds totally different. And it's like, it's so exciting. Sorry, Not Sorry. Like, all of those songs sound totally different. And I'm like so excited for everyone to hear it. I started out with really great instincts on how to be myself. And I strayed away from it because I wanted hits. I wanted what people wanted to hear. And so I lost myself for a long period of time when it came to me musically. And I've never had an experience in the studio like I've had making this album, where it's just so fulfilling, so myself. And it's just so fun to sing, and I can't wait to perform it.
Demi Lovato, thank you so much for coming on Call Her Daddy. It was
Thank
an honor.
you. Thank you so much.